You guys are going to love this week's episode of Not Your Mother's Podcast, most especially if you attended Hyles-Anderson College. But if you didn't, you'll still get a kick out of it, I promise you. So my good friend John Warden was back. My good friend John Banister was back. We all attended Hyles-Anderson at similar times, and we went over everything from the dining hall food to the night bus to dating to the bus ministry in general. We had a blast. Dropped a ton of names. I didn't edit any of them out, so I should be getting some flack for this one for sure. But again, if you went to Hyles-Anderson College, I guarantee you're going to love this episode of Not Your Mother's Podcast. Stick around, check it out, and let me know what you think. My name's Stuart. This is John. This is also John. And this is the Not Your Mother's Podcast.
Just the tips.
Yes. There you go, fellas.
Sausage party.
God, that tastes terrible with Red Bull in it.
That was a bad call.
So we're all drinking some manner of whiskey. Right before we came on, John wants more in his glass because like we all had pretty full glasses. We're gonna toast, and John's like, my glass is not quite much. So he goes, can I put some more Red Bull in? John Banister didn't like think about it or consult or anything. Just like, just do it. Not like if he should or it's okay or just do it.
Everything
so
works
I love
with
that.
Red Bull.
Gives
you wings.
It does. So I want you guys to see.
That too.
Because John Banister is in town, we're gonna have to start calling you Banister and invoke Wardy again on you. I'm sorry.
We can pull it out.
All right.
Fine.
That's what she said.
We'll dust it out.
Cool.
She also said
She
that.
said you can pull it out?
Yeah.
I don't want to pull it out. Fuck.
This is Not Your Mother's Podcast. So since Banister's in town, we're gonna talk about the whiskey a little bit here and there because he is an what's the word? Aficionado? Is that the right word?
Sure, but I'm not an alcoholic. I thought that's what you were about
No.
to say.
I'm an alcoholic. No, not you. So,
That's the first step is denial, John. You got to get past
Hey
it.
man, where 2 or 3 are gathered, he's in the midst. We're good.
We're not gonna get through any. Like we have subjects written down. Not gonna happen. I love it. That's the best kind. So. We are, John is fueling the podcast, shall we say. He's purchased some whiskey, and I want to show it to you guys because it's amazing. Yes, but also John. So this whiskey, I'm going to hold it up here. Hopefully you guys can see it. You can read that. It's got a preacher sort of looking fella, and it says Preacher's Pardon. It's the name of the bourbon we're drinking. Kentucky bourbon whiskey, and it's 90 proof, and it says on the front, oh, how grandly he preached perfection, which I think is funny because all 3 of the guys sitting in front of you have definitely done that. And then on the back it says, oh, everyone that thirsts, come and drink of life. Let the unrighteous man forsake his ways, and I will abundantly pardon. Me and John were in Bevmo in the liquor store, and I saw it. I saw Preacher, and I was like, well, we got to get this. And then when I read all the signage on it, I was like, oh, there's no way we can pass this shit up.
That's a keeper.
That is
sorry, babe. I bought that. No
Luckily,
worries.
this podcast won't drop for like a year, so you'll be fine.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
So the 3 of us know each other from well, technically I knew John before college, Wardy before college, but John Banister, the 3 of us didn't know each other until Hyles-Anderson College, where we would all 3 would have met each other.
Right.
So we're gonna talk about Hyles-Anderson College life again. We're gonna get into that. So I'm excited. We've all had, in our own ways, had our own experiences there and had our own kind of perspectives about what happened, what we went through. One of the things that me and John were talking about, Banister were talking about last night, is we were talking about, and I really do believe that there's such thing as platform etiquette, so that if you're sitting a certain way on a platform, you're
not sleeping.
Well, that was me. I fell asleep on the platform a few times. But besides that, not showing off the nether regions. So like, there's a way to sit. Like if you're sitting like this and you're up high, like things are gonna show to people that are down there. So a lot of times, guys on the platform will sit like this.
Are we all doing it?
Oh,
I'm not saying you have to do it,
Like,
but
how do you do that?
for me, like, and even if you watch like
this?
Yeah, I cannot do that. I got issues. It's either like the gut or the testicle. Like, it's just,
You got to go mangina on it.
like, let me read it.
Oh.
You got to take
Well,
it.
I didn't plan on going there. I just wanted to say that people do this. That was all. But we got that in. So no, it was just It was just funny to me seeing these people on the platform and I'm sitting in the pew, and I know like people that are a big deal and famous, like if you watch them on TV and they're even, I don't know, no, Gary doesn't do it. Gary sits weird, but like they always sit like this, but it's so uncomfortable. So if someone would please reach out to me and tell me like how you do that, I'd appreciate it.
Don't ask a chiropractor because they'll say it's horrible on your knees.
Oh, will they?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay. Well, now you know. All right, so we got to know each other in the, well, that chair is squeaky. We got to know each other pretty well in the dormitory. Dorm life is the part of college where you're kind of, you're all thrown in together into a tiny space, and you got to try to coexist.
Yeah.
And most of us didn't coexist well. In fact, I know we talked about it on a previous podcast, but his freshman year, his room got disbanded.
And condemned.
No
They
one
were
else
the fun
was-
room though.
That's why.
You can't have fun.
Hence the condemnation.
Yeah.
So they got in big trouble. But I just want to get into dorm life and what that was like, living with a bunch of guys and just being stupid, man. Just the stupid stuff that would go on that we would do. I remember, I think I took the day off work or something. This guy came into my room. We won't drop all the names. And you didn't come in like with a vengeance, but you came in and one of my roommates challenged this guy and said, you know, you can't take, just like out of the blue, just like, you can't take me. And this person watches this podcast, so I'm not going to be mean. And this person at some point will probably be on this podcast.
Do I know this person?
Yes, you do.
Well, I gotta know.
Yeah, and as soon as he said, like, I'm gonna take you, I'm like, no,
No.
you can't. I think it was weird too. Like, who says that? Like, what kind
Was
of
there
asshole
any-
says that?
Was there any
shit?
any setup to this?
Dude, I
Or
didn't
Like,
even
not
know
that I
him,
can
right? I knew he
recall.
was
You
from.
just walked in the door,
No, John walked in the door. We were talking for a second,
Yeah.
and
and
then
he was just like,
I could take you.
Like, I can take you. And I'm like, bitch, it's on. Like,
did he come from like prison where you had to find like the biggest guy in the room?
Right.
Was like, I'm gonna have to mess that
I
guy
don't know,
up.
but you know, there was like Florida kids that were in our school that they just had this like dick pill. You know what I mean? Like, no offense, like I'm not mad at you or
Wait,
anything
hang on
like
a
that.
second. You said Florida.
No, you know who this is, and I think you're.
Well, there's
putting
two
the dots
other
together.
dick people from Florida, but I mean, I had good runnings with both of them.
Good. Yeah, you did. At any rate,
I'm gonna have to know who this is now.
I'll tell you afterwards. I just don't want to out him on the podcast.
Yeah, no, I don't.
But
know.
at any rate,
What's his first name start with?
an A.
Okay.
Okay.
A in Florida.
You know who you are.
Which I don't have a problem with you.
No,
Everyone was
who's
talking
gonna
about it. It was
none of
funny.
us
Who's
do.
gonna
None
know
of us
an
do.
A? I don't.
He's gonna
gonna know,
know because he's gonna
that's
watch,
it.
and then it's gonna go bombs dropping like it's gonna be funny.
No, he's gonna
Be
enjoy
lit
this
as
one.
hell. He's got
Where's
a
your
nice
Fight Club
beard
soap?
too.
Get your Fight Club soap.
I do want some beard tips though. If you are watching, please put those in the comments.
So that was funny
Now
last
I
night when
definitely
we.
know who he is. I'm starting out, I was trying to be like,
So you guys are just gonna like go down the line of everything you can think
yeah,
of.
listening
that's
out,
not
it's like
his
that Guess Who, like the characteristics. Does your guy have blonde hair? Yes, he does. Okay.
Yes.
name. Stop! Just stop, you fuckers! Oh my god! I wasn't planning on this, which is how I think most of the podcast is gonna go. But living in the dorms was
It was splendid. It was
Who
a journey, man.
who came in and it was Caleb, I won't say last name. I remember he came in, he had a bag of ice. He was standing behind the same guy. And he came up, was it Caleb? Yeah, he came up behind him with a bag of ice and just whack, just like smacked his whole package.
Oh
It was
my gosh.
and he was
Like what, underneath? and
yeah, like from behind, like wham, and got that
Got
centrifugal force
that
coming back.
tank
Yeah,
going.
dude. That was a bad night.
It's
He
gnarly.
just laid on the
What-
floor
what
for a
floor-
long time.
What was this in Malone or was this?
No,
in-
this is freshman year, so this
We're
is
talking
Rice
about
1, Rice 111. Yeah.
But what you were on too,
Now
right?
what was it? Was
two-
it 215?
250.
You were like in the middle.
215, and
I was
then
in. Was 200 the very end?
200 was the end room. That's where they put like 15 guys.
Yeah, that's where
that
I
where
was
you were?
in, and of course,
That's where
well,
Carl
I came.
was.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
there you
was
go.
just talking about that. Yeah, because I came second semester of the freshman year, right, of all of our freshman year, and I remember my dad, like he was thinking it was normal college, so
Right.
he's like, "Dude, I'm gonna go walk my son down to his dorm room and all that shit," and we go in there and there's like 10 beds, and it's
And
just
you had
a
said it was a
shitstorm.
ministry weekend, right?
Yeah, it was
So,
Sundays.
or not a ministry weekend, a weekend, which means
It
it's
was
ministry.
Yeah, it was Sunday, so you know, yeah.
It was a shit
It
show.
was hammered, and my dad just looks at it. He goes, "Good luck," and turns around and walks out. Like, I'm like, "Fuck this place!" Like,
Oh, that's
crazy.
awesome, dude. I love it.
On
I love
bunk
it.
beds.
Yeah. bunk
Those
beds.
But yeah,
bunk beds
Carl,
were rough,
I have,
dude.
I have lots of fun.
Those were pieces
Dude,
of
when
shit.
I look back and think about like even the shit that I slept on at camp was better than that sometimes.
Oh yeah, for
Those
sure.
those beds were. How did you get? Well, I know how we got sleep because we were.
They
tired
got
as fuck.
donated from the camp after they got wore out.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
After the teenagers beat the shit out of them sliding down the hill. Yeah, I mean those beds were awful. Those were terrible, and we were paying them how much a month?
$860 a month. That was when.
Jesus
But they were
Christ.
raising it. You know, they built
Oh,
a new
yeah,
building,
yeah.
so every semester it was going up. Every semester.
Jeez.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
What a
dude,
waste, because we couldn't even do anything in the new buildings. Like, how does that benefit us at all?
Yeah.
we could paint it. Like we could work on it.
Yeah,
you know, like,
you want to pay money to work here?
yeah.
That sounds like a
fuck that.
great deal.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, even my secular college, right, that I go to.
I love
like,
that you use
pay-
that word,
I
secular
pay-
college.
Well, of course, we're on Not Your Mother's podcast. And we're fundamentals. It has to
Everybody
be
else is
secular.
like, so you mean college?
college?
Okay, so the real school, right?
Do you listen to secular music? You stop. It's gonna be
Anyway,
every time this
no.
dude's on the podcast.
No,
I think
I'll
it's
feel
because
it
it starts
down.
with no. I
Like,
love
we'll come up
it. I
with
think it's
something
because it
new.
starts with your name, and that's why you're like John. I know. I can't do
Yeah.
it. This guy can do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, but
We didn't
no,
watch that
my
last
school.
night,
I'm
did
going
we?
to school, and I'm going to school online, which is supposed to be expensive, and it's cheaper than when I paid at Hiles.
Is it really?
Like,
So
dude,
you're
I got my
going-
total bill,
Yeah.
and I calculated it for my wife, right?
Mhm.
And I paid $30,000 in total
Wow.
from when we first started there, because I was going for who's in American colleges.
Well, of course.
So it's all about the ministry.
I got that
Skip your
shit.
education. Like,
you get
I'm
it?
going for
Who's
it.
who? Yeah.
You got who's who?
This guy's a
Shoot,
who's who.
in 4 years.
Yeah.
Out the door.
That's like
Out the door.
impossible. Like I thought it was
I
like
don't
20
know.
years.
I don't
they
know
give
if
you
it's
who's who.
real, but I'm in the year.
I know what is who's who.
I'm in the graduating. I'm in the graduating.
John, all right.
group.
So,
Dude,
so,
like,
so
that's
we
awesome,
need to talk
kind
to you
of,
though. We
like-
need to understand like what is who's who.
I don't know. They sent me. I put something in the mail. They're like, hey, they sent me something into the PO box, and I was like, oh, hey, congratulations, you made Dean's List X amount of years in a row, and you've also been inducted into like America's like colleges of who of who's, because it was like the fucking
Whoville.
Whoville,
Yeah.
like the Grinch.
Yeah, who's who?
Yeah, but
no,
yeah.
I know who's
That's
who is
amazing.
legit. I just
Yeah.
always couldn't figure out
I didn't
why
think we could
Hiles
do
was
it because I
legit.
thought it was like a GPA thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But you had to have a GPA and be like extracurricular shit.
We don't even want to talk about my college degree.
Oh,
my
no,
double
my-
degree. Like,
yeah.
I don't even know. Like, dude, okay.
Clearly, you
I don't know if
want
that's
to
gonna
talk
bite me
about
in
it.
the ass or not, but I mean, I have a really good job right now. So if you're listening, I am somewhat educated. But
Yeah.
I went to Hiles Anderson. I was a freshman for what, 3 years?
For a while.
I went back to Harvest, and I graduated that year. How did I do that? Like, that is
It's
crazy.
the magic of the IFB college.
Yes,
Wait,
dude.
did
They wouldn't. They refused to take
you
the
in-
credits
did
from
you- did
Hiles.
you in-
And you still graduated in a
Yes,
year.
and I still
wait,
graduated.
they have a
Wow.
college there?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, so it was like an institute. They still have it now. Of course, back then they were like anti being online, and it was of the devil and all that crap,
Well,
right?
because online is strictly for porn.
Yeah, of course. Strictly for
Well, I
porn,
mean-
and then you're gonna find out what goes on. But yeah, dude, I tried to get my transcript sent to my school, the college I was going to.
Send him back.
Dude, they're like, we're not even gonna take this. We're not even gonna take this as a degree because they don't have the internet. They don't even have a website. They're like, this is not a school. And I'm like, no, it is.
No, it's real,
they
I
just
promise.
preach against the website all the time. They're like, we can't count this. Like, it doesn't even. It's not even a thing, right?
Isn't that amazing that all those... No, I'm not just trying to be bitter. It is just the fact of it. All those years and all that money, and in real life, it doesn't count.
No.
That is mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't count. $30,000.
But here,
And dude, we were making nothing.
No,
too.
we were making
like,
shit. So what I want to talk about, though, what you said is really important to point out that you went to college for you paid less. So what was that? So let's sound off. So we both started in 2004.
Mhm.
You started in 2005. But the
Yeah,
semester,
January,
so you were
yeah.
just a semester difference between us.
Right.
In 2004, 2005, so that's 13 years ago.
Mhm.
13, 14 years ago, you paid more for an unaccredited degree than you're paying now for an accredited degree.
Yeah, and I can do it right
That
from my home.
is crazy. That's nuts.
Yeah.
I'm really bitter about that.
Yeah, no.
That's-
Okay,
that's
so
fucked up.
well, even like BYU, right? Like,
Yeah, they're legit.
So BYU, Mormon College, of course, you guys all know who BYU is, but
They made the Elite Eight not too long, 4 or 5 years ago.
yeah, no, they
Oh,
did
shit,
with
yeah.
Jimmer Fredette.
Yeah.
So legit school though, they're like in the top 20 of business
Mm-hmm.
schools in the nation,
Damn.
That's
and
not
I could go and be a local right now and pay less than what I was paying. at
Still.
House. Yeah. Now
what
of course,
the fuck is that shit?
now of course, to be real,
Okay.
like
Well, you
we
don't
got to
get paid
remember
room
they were
and
paying
board.
room and board
Yeah,
too.
okay,
But
okay.
still.
Look at the rooms and the boards.
Yeah, no.
I mean, come on.
What
Look
is
at what
the
the
board?
fuck we were.
I never
That's a good
understood that.
point.
Like, what
I
the
think
term,
it is.
they're boarding
No,
us.
it's
With
no,
the-
no. Oh, is that what it is? I
Then
think
what's the
it's-
room? Is that like redundant?
No, so I
Room
think
and board?
no. That's a term. We need to look it up.
No,
Can
room
someone,
and board. Yeah, no.
no,
it's
someone look it up because it's
room
a
and
term.
board. They're
No, it's
boarding
like
you. You got a room.
No, I think it's an old school term. The board stood for something. No, I'm pretty sure.
No, because you paid room and board at every college.
Yeah, but
Well-
I mean, I'm talking about like pilgrim fucking days and
Oh,
shit
gotcha.
like that. Like it's
Lodging and food, typically forming
Hmm.
a part of someone's wages or included in some other agreement.
Yeah, because we got food.
I
Remember
believe
those
you,
sack
no, I know.
lunches? Do you remember those sack lunches? Those were
Oh
awesome.
my god.
Robbie Nelson. Oh,
Yeah.
pizza.
So the pizza's here. We're not even gonna stop the podcast. We're just gonna.
Hello.
I think
Hey,
it's pizza.
how are
We're
you?
gonna find- maybe it's
good.
not.
Thank you.
Who knows?
Whoa, I got two of those?
No, you didn't.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's nice.
Do you want to be on a podcast? We're podcasting right
What
now.
are we podcasting?
We're just.
Podcast.
It's called Not Your Mother's Podcast. So, this is our delivery guy saving our life right now.
Literally.
I'm Not Your Mother's Podcast. Good work.
Yes, Not
what's your
Your
What's your name, delivery guy?
My name is Ray. Delivery
What's up,
guy.
Ray? So before the pizza came, now the pizza's here. Before the pizza came, you were talking about who?
The sack lunches.
Yes.
And then Robbie, right? And so.
And that was genius of him.
Yeah, Robbie had a sandwich press in his
that was
room.
the only way those were edible.
That was the only way they were edible.
Yeah.
And it was like gold. He should have sold that shit. Like it was.
We should have showed it as a service.
For sure.
Oh,
I
of
would've
course.
paid.
I would have paid.
I was his roommate. I would have paid.
I would have paid. Dude,
I
you
would
get
have
plates
said
for
I
us, I'll
paid
be
and
right back.
mysteriously not had any money. Oh my god, bro, I'm so appreciative. I just have seemed to have left my wallet elsewhere. There's a lot of places, I feel like there's a lot of things elsewhere. Wherever that is, it's full of something. It's elsewhere. You know, it's like, oh well.
right. So it wasn't really room and board.
Yeah,
it was
there's no
room and
fucking
board. And,
monastery.
Where else are people going to get raped and put in water at the same time?
Oh no! Raped and bathed. All right.
At least you washed them.
Oh. Maybe set that. Are these both the same?
That's a
Yeah,
serious
they're
thing.
both
Maybe
the
set that one on the
Yeah,
floor
yeah.
and then we'll.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
good.
Yeah, but that was the biggest ripoff ever.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, man, we need. Oh my god.
Oh. Can you guys see this? Oh yes, you can. Front and center, motherfuckers. All right. Get your
I'm gonna
pizza.
grab one off your.
Off right off my crotch there.
Talk about a hot lunch.
John, that was perfect.
And this is the meat lovers pizza. So
It's got lots of meats.
this is gonna be full of pun and other things. All right.
Oh
okay,
shit!
this
You
is
lost.
just-
Throw it on there.
This is just.
Oh, this is a hot mess.
Mm-hmm.
Goddamn, this is gonna burn.
Yep.
Yeah, that's grease going through. You might not want to leave that in there.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's crazy. Actually,
This is pretty. This is pretty intense.
Some greasy ass pizza.
I'm not used to that from Domino's. Actually,
Can someone hand me that? Can you hand me that, please, John?
Yeah, for sure, no doubt.
Just throw it back on there for me.
God, how many different ways could I have just said yes? I was like, yeah, for sure, no
Yeah,
doubt.
for sure, no doubt.
Of
Absolutely,
course.
of course. I'd love to. Anytime.
Yeah, we just
All
say
right.
the same thing 5 other times.
All right. So,
But yeah, that is the only way you could eat those sack lunches.
yeah, you had the magic of Rob Nelson. That's the only way to do it.
Robbie,
Good work, Robbie. Robbie, I take this Preacher's Pardon whiskey, bourbon, and I salute you. Good work.
I said,
yes, that was a favor to all of us.
yeah, that was pretty. I totally
Gentleman and
forgot about
scholar.
that.
So, the sack lunches were shit, but luckily, you had you had the dining hall, and you could eat you could eat food there. I wouldn't say real, cause you guys remember the gyros? I'm sure we've talked about this before.
Dude, I never ate there because I had to go to work like right
Go
after.
straight
I would
to work
grab my
after chapel?
sack lunch and go.
Damn, that sucked. And you ate your sack lunch?
Dude,
you remember
I
that?
had to.
What else could you? Yeah, you were poor as fuck. $8.60 a month.
Yeah.
What? Do you guys remember the fruit gushers in the sack lunches?
Yes!
There was
Oh,
always
I forgot
moisture
about
on the
that.
inside.
I wasn't.
He wasn't using. Oh.
Dude, I didn't have time to think about that.
Yeah, you just try to swallow them whole, and then
Oh Jesus.
I forgot
Yeah.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, those were fucking nasty.
Yeah, those are terrible.
Yeah, no, I never ate in the dining hall
Really?
because we'd have class all day, right?
Okay.
And then we would go and split because I had to go. I was working at R&L Carriers at the time, and so I had a jet and not hit the traffic, so I could be at work at 4.
Where was Arnell Carriers? What city was it?
It was in the
East
south side of
Chicago?
Chicago.
Okay, south side.
And yeah, like
Damn, so you had to
I was
drive.
in the ghetto.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
How's that again? Ghetto.
It was interesting.
You just turn it into 7 syllables. That was awesome.
Anyway,
9 letters.
so we would go. We go shoot up to Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
and then I get back to the school at
Oh
2
my
in the
God.
morning, or 4 in the morning.
Now, did you have a pass
Then you
for
have
that?
to go to Devos.
Did you have a pass for that?
No, that's the whole thing. Like
Yeah,
I
what
wasn't
happened?
old enough. Like I was okay to work in
gonna say-
AmeriCall, right?
Right.
But okay, here let me step back a little bit.
Go ahead,
So at
talk to us.
school, I remember we had to get permission if you were going to work third shift, but you had to be like 21 or something like that
Yeah.
to be able to get the pass, right?
Yeah.
And so I
You had
was.
to be able to get alcohol at the places that serve it at that hour.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows that. Yeah, so 21 is just the normal
It's just
number
the
for
thing.
adulthood, I guess. Anyway, so
So you know you've made it.
yeah. So I couldn't. I had to go try to get approved, and what happened was I wasn't going to devotions in the morning because they would wake us up out of bed, like no alarm clock, no adulthood. They had to come and wake you up.
Yep.
And then you'd go to devotions at what, like 6:30 or so. So I'd get in from work
Yeah.
at like 4 in the morning. I have to get up at Devos, and if you didn't go to Devos, then you got offenses.
Yep.
And long story short, I was
Sorry.
never approved for my third shift pass for whatever reason.
I can't come to work
I can't
today.
go because my college wants me to sleep 2 hours a day, conquer my bed, get up out of the morning, and go to Devos.
I love that phrase, conquer
Right?
your bed.
Like, dude, 3 hours of sleep at night, and then dating, right? And you got to be the spiritual figure.
How are
and
you
then-
going to have time to date?
No, you don't. But when you are, then it's like,
Then
dude,
you
you
really
gotta
don't
get
have
out
time.
of bed
Yep.
because if you don't, you're lazy. Like, I'm lazy, motherfucker. Like, really?
Do you remember when they got smart about it? I don't know if you remember this, but they had the what was it, sophomore year or junior year? But they started where you could actually pay off your offenses.
Yes.
So
Oh,
like
yeah.
it was like
I
you could
remember- I
work
remember
when
that.
they needed shit done, and they
Right.
were like, but if you really don't have time to work,
We'll take your money.
we'll take your money.
Isn't it? Do either of you remember? Well, I mean, I don't know how much trouble you ever got in, Wardy. I feel like you,
Right, dude. Here's
you-
my
you
this was
stayed
my
above
this
the
was,
radar.
this was my method was because
Below.
well this was my method. It was just like I joined them. I was like, fuck, I
Yeah.
got to be here for 4 years.
Right, I might as
as
well.
well get full access to the place. Like I had
Fuck
literally
yeah.
keys to every room by the time I graduated.
I
That is
could use
crazy.
the hookup, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Dang.
Yeah.
I didn't do any of that. See, once again, like I was out of the system, so like I
Yeah.
was like hook, line, and sinker. You know, I
So-
did what was asked of me, what I was told.
Did either of you ever remember doing like push-ups to get rid of offenses? I remember Tutton had me do push-ups
Somebody
once.
did that.
I remember
You
that
just dropped the
vividly.
name, too.
Yeah. That is
Interesting.
whatever.
It
He's
is.
a Pensacola now. Doesn't count.
Really?
And you
Yeah.
had to be like,
How do you do that? I love how all of a sudden all hell breaks loose and blows up,
Oh,
and
I'm
it's like, dude, even though we signed up for this guy the whole entire time and kept our mouths shut, so we're just gonna repackage
Now all of a
ourselves,
sudden-
put on pants, because that all of a
Yeah.
sudden makes us holy. Like, shit. Like, I'm all for not wearing skirts. Like, I get that, and you
Right.
can't prove that biblically anywhere.
Nope.
But, dude, that's crazy.
Come on.
They're like, we're just gonna go repackage ourselves so we can still make money.
Yeah, doing the same shit we were doing before. It's
How
the
much money
same
did
shit.
Jesus charge for preaching the gospel? I'm just curious. I mean,
Good
sorry to
question.
throw that weird thing out there,
I
but
feel
just had
like
an
it was
epiphany.
fucking free.
Yeah, I think so too.
I feel like that you just went fishing and like ended
just
up with
showed
money.
up.
They were like, oh yeah, dude, I got a coin in the mouth. The fuck is this? What kind of trippy ass shit is that? Go fishing, and then you're gonna catch a fish that's gonna have some money in it.
See,
So
he
you
had
get
it down
food
though.
and
He didn't-
money.
He didn't like take it from people. He made it for
Yeah,
people.
giving
exactly,
it. Yeah, he's like,
yeah.
and by the way, you can eat the fish, so it's
Check it
practical.
out.
Yeah.
Teach a man to fish. That really puts a whole new spin on that.
All right.
So
Now everybody's gonna be looking for fish. Hey, you got a largemouth bass. There's nothing in here.
God damn it, this fish is empty. So
Crazy.
So there's a lot of craziness being at Howes Anderson, and really, like, we talk about Howes Anderson, but you know, John, you attended a different college for a time, and there's other colleges out there. There's and there's gonna be people that I know that are friends with me on social media that aren't gonna like this, but it's just the truth. I haven't said this before. I want to say it today. Grace Baptist College in Michigan is not different. If anything, it's worse. Commonwealth Baptist College out in Kentucky, there's a lot of people left Howes Anderson and decide to go that route. It's not that different. It's just not. From all the crazy shit we're talking about, the rules, the legalism, the dating, we're going to get into even more stuff today, but like
Yeah.
all of that stuff is replicated in these other colleges.
Almost
It's just
identical.
a different name on the sign.
Yeah.
It's Fugit. It's what's Grace Baptist? Why can't I think of it?
Jenkins.
Jenkins, it's Chapel,
Yeah.
it's whoever it is,
Smith.
it's Smith. It's all the same thing, guys.
Yeah.
It's all the same thing. Like, and look, I get they have different, like you said, repackaged. It's a different brand.
Yeah.
We're talking about Nike, Adidas, and Reebok. They all make the same shit. It all looks very
Yeah.
similar, but it's a little bit different. It's the same thing. And again, I don't expect good feedback on that. I don't look for it. Whatever you have to say about that, you can say. But you cannot tell me they're not all very similar. Different names for things. But when you have, I'm not going to say her name, but a lady staff member that runs the women's dormitory at Hyles Anderson and then goes to Commonwealth is doing the exact same thing. You can't tell me. Oh yes. You can't tell me that it's not gonna be exactly the same. You just can't. You just can't. There's no way she does that.
You take the same people, put them in different places. It's gonna same shit happen.
Yeah, you recycle them until the internet came out and everybody's exposed because now it's harder to.
I call it recycling. I call it shuffling. And when we were growing
it's not better, so they're not recycling. Right?
Yeah, true.
It's not usable.
Well, it kind of is because like they recycle and like they took something that was like garbage and like. Do you want to use it? It's
okay,
kind of
recycled toilet paper. I get it. I'm going there.
Yeah. Like it's not like recycled in the good sense.
Yeah. So like that's what I'm saying. And when we were, at least I shouldn't say we. I'll speak for myself. When I was growing up and coming up in the IFB cult, the Catholicism was just like tirades every day about how terrible and wicked the Catholics were, because they had priests that had inappropriate sexual relationships with whoever it was in the church, whether it was an altar boy, whether whoever it was.
Yeah.
And so then instead of them being prosecuted, and I'm not saying they never were, but instead of them being prosecuted in some cases, they were just sent to a different parish. Guess what? You fucking IFB does the same thing.
Yeah.
It does the same thing. I've watched it happen. I'm going to say it now. I've watched it happen here in Southern California. I have been a witness to it happen just a few miles away from me. I know it's happening. It's just it blows my mind.
Yeah, it is crazy. Like
it's sad.
I just had a memory of something else too. I remember, and for all of those people out there, that Billy Graham just passed away, right?
Oh boy,
don't
get me started.
But anyway, all of these IFB people are sitting there saying,
now, right?
"Oh, he is the best guy ever. He did all this outreach. Like, we just love him now." And when I was in college, they were ripping his head off for kissing the hand of the Pope or the ring or whatever. Yeah. Saying how he's basically mixed in with the great harlot, right? Yep. And it's like now they're like, once again, cut off the head of the leader, the people scatter, and they're like, dude, we just need to protect and preserve ourselves. Billy Graham, wonderful dude, which I do think Billy Graham helped out a lot of people, and he was a nice dude. I don't know all the deep-seated stuff, but there's probably there too, but yeah.
Well, everybody,
you're giggling.
I'm not going to stop either.
Yeah.
But no, I like the point that you're making, and we'll just stay on that because it's so important to note that, like, when someone, and I'm not saying he was or wasn't anything, he was a great cultural leader. You can't take that away.
The impact is there.
Yeah, and but when you die, you get sainthood, like it just happens, you know. But I do think it's funny that the people that say
unless you're a Scientology guy that dies, I'm gonna say, hey guys, look, he went to hell, and I have to be a prophet on Facebook and let all you know he went to hell.
Oh god,
like,
yeah, okay.
Dude,
I get what you're. Yeah, I get
like
what you're,
really,
dude. That was fucked up.
Like
that pissed me off.
I'm out of
who's the
God? Why can't I not Scientologist?
No.
He said Scientologist. That's what Hawking. Stephen Hawking. That's what you're talking about. Yeah.
Not in Scientology.
You said Scientology.
Did I? Dude,
see, you're on.
Dude, I'm just a fundamental Baptist. Right. I just say whatever, and it's just truth.
Right? We'll find a Bible verse for it.
Yeah, well, for sure, it's contextual.
I mean, you guys don't know anyway, because you're not allowed to read anything. Like, fuck.
It's true.
Don't question.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Okay, so. No, that was Ray Young, wasn't it?
That was. Sorry, Ray. I did Jack's voice, and I asked for your Bible.
You totally.
Might as well.
Here's your Bible. I don't know how does Ray Young scream?
How does he? I don't even remember.
I don't think he does. He's just stern and scary.
Yeah, he got overly serious. Like I felt like.
Well, it was very sexual.
Like
yeah, it's very
don't
sexual.
I'm just gonna say it. Don't like
throw that out there for us?
I'm gonna throw that out there. I don't really care. I think we talked about that in the last podcast.
I'm sure we did.
Here's what's crazy is that you have all of these people, and like you said, for whatever it's worth, whatever. When all that shit went down with Jack Scott, like you just saw, like everybody was like, all right, cool. Like they knew shit was going down, but they needed a paycheck too, so they were like, we're gonna keep our mouth shut.
Yeah,
but as soon as that shit hit the fan, everybody bounced.
Oh yeah.
Everybody bounced. And then all of a sudden you got oh, hey, do you know how to teach a class? Can you cover this? Like all of a sudden they're asking like everybody to like fill these spots because everybody knew. Everybody that was anybody knew like shit was going down. And when that happened, they were like, fuck. And they bounced. They went to PCC. They left to go start their own churches and run shit the way they wanted to run it,
Yep.
and how they felt it should be run. So it's like if you were really in that for that, then you would have stayed there and like help rebuild the foundation. You know, don't move the landmarks.
Rebuild the wall.
Yeah, don't move the old
Yeah.
landmarks
The
as
old
people.
paths.
Right. The old paths. I'm like, fuck. The
You
old
just
path is
bounce.
the old path leads you off a fucking cliff. Choose a different path.
Try something
Yeah, yeah.
else
Yeah,
this time.
Yeah,
So here's
that's so true.
But yeah.
And just on that note too, we hit on this a time before too. Is it's the system really? Like I get we're throwing around a lot of stuff,
Right.
But dude, if you want to own that system and you want to like uphold that system
Yeah.
and call it the old paths, like, dude, you reap what you sow.
Yeah,
like
you
that's what it
More of
brings.
the same.
Like,
Yeah, absolutely. And so, boy, we went on a good one there. That was
Yeah,
good,
we
guys.
did.
I'm thrilled. That was fucking dope. So,
I'm glad you're
Back to thinking Robbie Nelson for sack lunches and
okay, so,
sandwich making.
were you
Yeah.
you had to have been on Malone for a while then, right?
Yeah, I was on Malone for a
Yeah,
while.
so we were
maybe a summer.
I'm trying to remember what year. No, we were roommates on Malone also. Yes.
212.
Yeah, 212. And
There's that picture in the speaker's room. Bro, did I tell you where I found that picture?
tell me.
Well, I'll let you finish your thought,
Okay.
and then I'll.
So I will never forget. Okay, so we had those tall closets. Did you
Yeah.
remember them?
yeah, of course.
So you would, of course,
Of course. Who
had
wouldn't?
sex in those things. So
I did
now I'm
not.
thinking of my roommates. No,
I
I
was
was just
pure.
kidding. I didn't. Chaste. You were a virgin. I love it. So there was chaste.
No, I won't
chaste.
do that.
Whole different thing.
You were chafed? God damn.
I was chafed too. Like, no, actually I
chafed
wasn't.
and chafed.
I was too skinny to be chafed back
True.
then because we couldn't eat anything.
Yeah,
I like
exactly.
lost weight. But now I'm chafed.
So we
baby.
had AF. So we had the bar that went across the top so you could hang your stuff in it.
Right.
Yeah.
A wooden
A
rod.
dowel.
No, it's huge though. It's
Yeah.
a big wooden rod. Do you
Yeah.
remember? Do you remember Josh Groom?
Yes, of course I do.
So Josh-
Oh, I got a story
Josh-
about Josh.
Okay, I want to hear it.
Oh,
I
my-
love Josh Groom to this day.
Yes,
I love him
I
until I
love him.
die. Josh Groom, I
do not
think
love
Josh Groom
Josh.
found this, or maybe it was Bob. Bob was in our room, right?
It
Yep.
always reminded
So-
me of Napoleon Dynamite. Like,
I love him. So,
Todd.
so someone found a bunch of those, and we started having. So like you gotta here's the paint the picture. Like you don't have any time. You
No.
don't have time, right? So you gotta get up. You gotta try to sleep as late as you can. Get up. Try to iron your clothes because you're gonna get in trouble if they're not ironed.
Yeah.
So definitely wear a sweater so you don't have to iron your shirt
Oh, that's-
or your sweater.
Yeah.
Every day.
That's
Even in the
awesome.
middle of summer.
Yeah.
Why are you sweating
It's
so much?
100
You gotta wear
degrees
sweat-
outside.
I don't give a fuck. So you're running around doing all this stuff, like trying to get ready. And I just want to talk about it for a second, because for me it was like we didn't have time to do this. Like
Okay.
there was no time, but for some reason we all stopped and became kids, which we were still kids anyways. But we became kids for like 10 minutes, several mornings in a row, and had like sword fights with those things.
Yes.
well,
I'll
that's
never forget that.
the correct terminology is we were robots. So like
Yes,
we
exactly.
decided to live a little bit. And then,
Exactly,
like,
exactly.
have
I'll
fun.
never forget that. And we had all these sausage names for one another.
Yeah, that was.
Who was act? Do you remember? Was it you? It was you, and it was Groom. I don't
Yeah.
have to tell this story if you don't want
You
me
know,
to.
right? Yeah, bro.
So, I feel like.
Someone had it on video. What happened was.
Okay, go ahead.
What happened was
It
we were doing.
funny.
It was like.
You're doing Star Wars.
We were doing strict
Yeah.
Star Wars,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
we all had these wooden sticks, and
what she
we
said.
were going back and forth, and then somebody hit the lights, and so the
Yes.
lights went up. And I don't know what happened, but Josh Groove ended up on the floor in the fetal position, like screaming in a high-pitched voice. I still don't know what happened to him. but-
I think we're getting our stories confused. I think that's Adam Wildhagen that you're talking about.
he was in there.
He was
He
there.
hit the
That
light.
was he hit the
That's
lights.
when I
That
yelled,
was
"You
the
have a
pizza.
tiny sausage."
Yes. That's what it was. But
Which
that
one
was
are you talking
Adam.
about?
That is the same one. So one and the same. Adam. We were having a pizza party because Adam was getting kicked out.
Yeah, so he bought it.
we bought everyone pizza.
Yeah.
I remember that. And the lights went off and it went berserk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one
Any-
were you talking about before that, though? Maybe I
Like
got...
I think we might have got them confused, but I remember there was one morning before school, you and Groom were fighting,
Oh.
and like sword
Most likely.
sword fighting, and fucking
Not in the traditional sense.
not in that sense. You guys were sword fighting. Someone was kneeling down, someone was standing up, and you know it was about to be
This
the
is not-
final blow. Yeah, I know. All sword fighting. Everyone was fully
Final
clothed.
blow. Bro, come on. You're straight lighting this up. I'm like, this isn't sexual, but someone was on their knees, someone was standing up, and it was the final
Delivering
blow
the final blow.
Of this like wooden shaft. It wasn't polished. It
for
was
the mo-
splintering.
for the money shaft. For the money
The money
shot.
shot. Oh,
Yeah.
that's the money shot. So,
Centerfold of the
at
year,
any
bro.
rate, I do remember someone saying like, "I am your father. I'm going to destroy you."
Yeah, I
and
was
John was like, "You have small sausage."
You
That
have a
just-
small sausage.
It just was hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know
But-
what I'm
but you
talking
think
about.
about
It was
it.
great.
But you can think about it, though. It was literally a social experiment.
It was. Yeah.
Like sleep depravity.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
totally.
poor diet, like all this stuff like mixed together,
Yep.
and then
Poor diet.
and then not to mention like just like the hormones of like normal dudes, like
yeah,
17,
at that
18,
age, yeah.
just raging hormones and like
Yeah, but
you
you're
know.
totally ungodly. dude.
yeah, right? Because then you got people Boyd preaching about making shower babies.
Oh my god.
Oh, dude, and Tom Williams like,
shower
dude, if your
baby.
wife's on her period, she can use her mouth. You know,
Oh my
like
God,
what
you
the?
said that?
Well,
Yeah.
he didn't say that. He's like, there's other things you can
What is
do.
the doctor? What was that
Wow.
meme? Like the doctor, the wife's like, the doctor said I'm on my period, so we can't have sex. She's like, what did your dentist say?
Oh no. Us three guys were not sexist, okay? It's just,
No,
it's just jokes.
no,
It's
no,
just
or-
jokes.
Or your we'll use the term significant other.
I don't know.
Wait, that's
Be
what I
they-
learned in fundamentalism. I thought that was
Be
how shit works.
they male, female,
That's why I
or,
was divorced. Fuck.
Or the other
Or
one.
what's the thing?
Hen.
I was just telling somebody. Like, I was doing something at work, and somebody wanted a Spotify account set up, so I was just making a bullshit one just so they could listen to music. And now they have the option. And again, I don't care. Sexual orientation is what it
This
is.
is not your mother's podcast.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter. Like whatever you believe, that's chill. But the option now is male, female, or binary. Like
Yeah.
binary. I'm like, what the fuck is is that both? Is it one? Is it you like
I
robots?
have no idea.
That's
I
right.
have no idea.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, there's too many labels. Like,
So, how's Anderson College?
yeah. Anyways, back
No,
on
it's
that.
a good thing to talk about.
But yeah.
I just have zero education on it.
Yeah, I
think
was
it's a
just
very
throwing that out there.
fascinating subject to talk about.
But yeah.
But
Back
yeah,
to-
I derailed us. That was good. So I don't know. There was just a lot of things that I look back and like everyone has. I'm happy for both of you and a lot of my other friends and myself as well that have good memories of good friendships that were made there. Like that.
Yeah.
That's great, and I'm happy for that. But you can't. The thing that bothers me is I feel like, this is my opinion, that people think that that's all that matters about our time there is that, well, you got a great wife or you got good friends, and that. To shit on, we're all burping right now. To shit on Hiles Anderson College and that experience is not to shit on wives and friendships or any of the great experiences that we had. It's to say, yeah, there were good things there, but the money we spent and the things that we lost and the things and the years of our life that we can't get back, that is fucked. And guess what? Even though Hiles Anderson enrollment has dropped drastically, it's still happening there, and it's still happening, I would I'm certain to say, around the world. That shit's still going on.
Oh, most definitely.
It's just so fucked that people are wasting so much of their lives.
It's a cop out because like you get the same like you know join a book club you get the
Yeah.
same thing you know
There you go.
socializing reading books
Exactly.
like I feel
Yeah.
like it's a cop like well at least these friendships that you're forging are gonna I'm like what the fuck like
No.
Well, dude, not to mention the classes that we took. It's like, really? Christian manhood?
Dude,
Christian
they were bullshit classes.
womanhood?
Here's the thing.
Like-
If you went to Hiles Anderson College, it did happen this way sometimes, but it was rare that you were coming straight from, air quotes, a worldly life
Right.
to Hiles Anderson. You were raised, or at least had the last few years, at a Christian high school or in a Baptist church. That's just how it worked.
Right.
You were relearning the same
Yeah.
shit you already... Old Testament
Just Old
survey?
Testament survey?
What's left to fucking survey? I've read it 5 times.
Haley's handbook.
Oh, my gosh.
What was the big one? Wilmington's. That big
Wilmington's.
green motherfucker?
Dude, if they didn't
That
have
thing was
that,
huge.
if they didn't have Wilmington's Guide to the Bible, there'd only be like 2 classes there.
Well, yeah, but you also have
Well, yeah,
what did
great.
White House teach? The Jack
History.
Hiles
He
one.
ch- well, he
No, he
taught
taught the
history,
Jack
too.
Hiles class.
I didn't get there. I was a freshman for 5 years. Leave me alone.
I didn't make that part. I got in big trouble in
You
that
know what, the
class.
fundamental man?
Fundamental man, I remember that. Yeah.
Doesn't he taught that? And then what's his name? Oh,
Oh, someone else.
remember, didn't Josh? If you watch this, Owens, I believe, didn't he get sent out of class by White House in that?
Oh, I'm sure.
Josh, comment on that if you did, because I think I remember you getting called out for talking, because he was like,
I know.
but you're a First Baptist kid, you know better. Like, him
Oh
out for
shit,
being,
I don't remember
called him
that.
out, like, yeah, he had to leave class.
I
because he was
remember.
talking.
I
You First
remember.
Baptist kids. Jeez.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Bunch of
I
fucking-
remember John Wicks getting called out. I don't know if it was in chapel. I know it was in chapel. I feel like it was Larry Smith. It was either no. It wasn't chapel.
I was
It wasn't
third
chapel. Yeah, we should
we're not
all
gonna
have
go
a
there.
story about. Yes, we're going to talk about that. So no, it wasn't Larry Smith. It was a class. It was Daryl Whitehouse, and it was a fundamental man. And he called him out in class because John just kept talking. Like,
Yeah.
it's whatever. Like, this class, this is about a dead... Like, if you have a... Okay, this is my opinion, right? Now, if Joe Rogan died tomorrow, we should definitely have classes about Joe Rogan immediately thereafter. Anyone else, let them die for, like, 20 years. Let them be gone for a little bit. Not, this guy died 5 years ago, so we're going to have a class about... No, like, give him some time to... mellow in the grave, I don't know, whatever. But the class was boring as fuck. And so Joe was talking through the class. No, not Joe Wicks. Did I say Joe? John. John was talking through the class, and I remember Daryl just getting super pissed, calling him out. I don't remember what he said, but I remember John relaying to us after that he told him. So one of their big ones, and Wendell would do it too. Would say, "Go to my office." Like, go wait at my office.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing
Dang,
as.
I never got to the office. When I was in
Which
public
is-
school, I was in the principal's office
All the
every
time?
day. Like, that was like bonus
To me,
points.
it's the same thing.
Like,
To me, it's the same thing as you're
Sorry.
getting a spanking when you get home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You can't.
oh, dude.
You're going to be punished, but now you have to sit and wait to see what the
The
fuck I'm going to do.
anticipation of
Yeah,
punishment.
that's
dude,
fucked
and your
up.
college students, like, I'm sorry, the college experience, if you ever have a outside real
Right,
normal college
right.
experience, it's never that. Like,
No.
I remember in one of the classes, I was taking the class, my girlfriend was in the class, right? It was one of the bigger ones in the chapel, and she was sitting with me, and I forget the guy, he was, is it Mendez or something?
Danny, yeah.
Yeah, Danny.
Anyway, totally rips her to shreds because
No
you gotta
shit.
sit in alphabetical order, right?
Well, yeah, I remember that.
Now, doesn't say anything to me about it, but like rips her publicly in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Like, who does
Damn.
that? Like,
Just over something that small or,
yeah,
and trivial.
just over where you're sitting.
Who gives a fuck,
Yeah.
man? Just
Yeah.
teach the goddamn
And of
class.
course, nobody knew me, so it was like, you're not gonna make an
Man.
example out of me.
Right.
It wouldn't do anything. Like, this guy over here, like, who?
Who?
Yeah,
fuck
it's
it.
like, John, who
John
is
what?
that guy?
Yeah.
So John Wicks had to go way to his office, and I don't have any reason to disbelieve him. John basically said that the speech he got from Daryl was, "I take shits bigger than you. Pay attention to class."
I remember.
I
hearing
remember
about
hearing about that.
I
remember
knew that
hearing
didn't ring a
about
bell.
Which he's
Yeah.
a large man, so I believe it.
that.
You might want to
That
see a
has to
doctor,
be
but
huge.
still got this chocolate-covered squirrel running around my office right now.
Champ.
Yeah, like,
Sorry.
how's that? Like, I take shits bigger than you. It's like,
That's
what
crazy.
is
I
that?
forgot about
Gross. That's a
Yeah.
gross
That's
misrepresentation.
that's a good thing too, because I remember the huge thing too
Very
was
gross, John.
behind the closed doors what would go on.
Yeah.
Especially with that sermon that I always like do my little voice in. Ever since he busted out hell
Yeah.
in that way,
Mhm.
right? You started hearing about
Everyone
the
was
staff
saying-
meetings. He was like cussing
really?
people out.
Oh, yeah.
He was like up in their face, like you got to get this done. Like it was like grunt style the
Yeah.
whole way.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like he was brutal. Like
Jesus.
nobody wanted to sit by him.
Did you just
He
throw
was a
on
dick.
grunt style?
Yeah, I did. Sorry, grunt style's better.
It's good. I like
But
it.
he was grunting. No,
He
it
was
was,
grunting.
and it was all about being a man. Like,
Did either of you ever have any meetings with Jack Scott? Like one-on-ones?
Are you kidding me? No. I could.
Just for
You might have.
like maybe like once or twice.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember? Do you remember when they did it? It was like towards the end of senior seminar. They all stood up. It was like a panel, and Jack Scott was in there, and I feel like we were in the old, like one of the older
I don't remember
buildings.
this at all.
And he was just like, "What do you have to bring to the table?" And like all this shit.
I must
yeah.
have been sick that day.
Yeah, like
Oh,
sick.
you know what? They wrote out letters at one period of time. Scott started preaching these messages, and I don't know why, because they needed money.
Well,
and
for
all
sure.
these students got these messages like, if you're not going to take school seriously, whatever, blah, 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 you need to leave. There was like a mass exodus.
I remember that. I do remember that.
But that was interesting because the reason why that triggered it was because he was all about that.
Yeah.
He was all about like, what are you gonna do for us type thing, right?
Which is like the
What are you gonna
opposite.
do-
Which is the opposite of Christianity, because that's supposed to be like what you can do for others.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. Like, but what can you do for me? Like,
But
how are
the-
you gonna build my church?
I think
and-
the irony there is, what are you gonna do for me, bro? Your suit, your
Yeah.
Chrysler 300.
Yeah.
I did that for
Yeah,
you.
and your wife's matching
Yeah.
like your matching Suburban.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I did that shit for you, you
Dude,
asshole.
that's
Like,
crazy.
what do you mean? What am I gonna do for you? I'm paying your fucking bills.
Yeah.
I'm building your ministry. I'm bringing people to your church.
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's bullshit.
I do
So
have.
backwards.
I never met with
Yeah.
him personally, but I do have
Yeah.
a funny story
Oh, I wanna
because
hear
it
it.
was all about man worship, right? One time my family came out to
Big
visit,
time.
and my parents wanted to go see brother Scott, right? And so my little brother and sister, are 10 and 11 years younger than me.
Mhm.
My sister, she's got my personality too. She just says whatever she thinks, right?
Met her.
She goes and sees him, and she's like, "You're a lot shorter than I thought," right? Like, dude, we don't come from fundamental ranks, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not like about
That's-
man
that's
worship.
awesome.
And my parents were just like, "What?" But I remember too, like when she said that, I was like, "Yeah." They always put him up on this pedestal that made him look big,
Yeah.
huge, manly dude,
not a tall
like
guy.
power play, just like Vin Diesel style with the cameras, you
Yeah,
know.
the angles. Do you know that?
But yeah, my sister said that, and immediately they're like, "Dude,
Oh,
you
shit.
just like
Holy
talked
gosh,
about the
fella.
man of God." Like, shoot, but he was short.
Yeah,
He
you're
was
a tall
short.
dude.
Smart.
So, all right. So, we've covered a lot about
Sausage.
Hiles Anderson.
Sausage.
I think we talked a little bit about work there as well, and it was the one thing. I don't want to talk about that too much because we've talked about it before, and John, you brought it up in a lot of detail. But like, it was just, you didn't have time to work. You really didn't. But you had to work because the majority of us were not, our parents weren't paying our school bill.
Right.
So you had to work. You had to either work on campus, work scholarship,
Yeah.
or you had to fucking...
$3 an hour.
$3 an hour. Or
But
you
dudes
had...
couldn't get that, could they?
I
Unless you were a
did.
different.
You
I
had to
did
do-
after tour.
You had work scholarship. You either had to be if you had like a work visa. So a lot of the
Right.
a lot of
Missionary kids or whatever.
Our Hispanic students, yeah.
missionary kids or like foreign exchange students.
Yeah.
They like that's all they could do because
Right.
they didn't have the right paperwork to actually like work a
A
job.
work visa. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, is that an education visa? Is that a thing?
Education is, but I think there's still limited like restrictions.
That's what I'm saying, like, that's
do
all
have
they-
education
that's all
visas.
they- yeah.
I think it's called a student visa.
Okay,
is
gotcha.
what it is.
Gotcha.
But they have they had like a certain thing. But yeah, that's really the only people that got on that.
So
I'm
they
just-
were in prison.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean,
Make
I don't know.
license
All I
plates.
want to really say much about work is like, there's a lot to talk about there, and we may talk about it more in another podcast. But there just wasn't time for it, and you had to make time for it, and that's so frustrating. And then the other thing you had to make time for was dating, as you mentioned before.
Yeah.
And I remember my senior year trying to date. I was working work scholarship. I was working a job full time,
Mhm.
and I feel like my last semester or second to last, I was taking 21 credits or something crazy just to
Right.
get the fuck out. And I never had time to see my girlfriend, fiance at the time. Like I just didn't have time for her.
No.
Like I had a few minutes in the afternoon, and that's fucked.
No.
Like how is the only time you're gonna spend with the person that you intend to spend the rest of your life with? The only time you have to spend with him or her is a few minutes in the afternoon, and then in your ministry all weekend.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Well, yeah, no, and on the ministry days, like, you can't date.
You're
like
not
I
dating,
couldn't
yeah.
because what was it? Is it A or B? What was I in? The north side. What was that?
That's A, I think.
Is that A?
Well,
Anyway,
no,
was
I
in-
felt like A was close to the church.
That's what I thought,
Hammond
too.
and
I
was in
and
B.
If
Maryville
you were
and all
north
that.
side, you were B.
A's
Yeah, so-
like Pete Calling and shit.
Yeah, A was like
Stuart
within like
Mason.
A was within like 15 miles around the church.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so I was
you
in
were
B
B or C.
or B.
We were C, right?
If
we
you
were
were
C,
C, then I was
C
B.
was south
Yeah.
side, B was north side
Yeah, I
because
was
we were at
B.
we were at like an hour time difference.
Yeah, and there was
Gotcha.
always like that rivalry there because like my side would always say we're better than you because we're more
Right.
hardcore. We don't
Right.
talk to our girlfriends. We tell them what's up. You know what I mean? And then we go,
Smack them around if they need it.
oh, this is crazy too. I just thought about this. Like, so here we are in
Not an advocate for
Chicago.
abuse.
No, we're in the big city of Chicago, and like, this doesn't even make sense to me now when I replay this in my head. Is the dudes could drive vehicles, right?
Dude, this is fucked.
The
Go ahead.
chicks would ride the bus and get dropped off and have to walk the whole route
For hours.
for hours.
Not 4 hours,
Yeah.
but
Hours and
multiple
hours.
hours past 4.
Yeah.
We're talking like a solid
And
work
dude,
day.
us
Yeah.
dudes are like rolling in our bus captain's car or whatever, going out
We're going to
eat,
play video
doing all this
games.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Music.
Yeah, it's just
and
wicked.
these ladies, which they tell you, take care of your lady workers, right?
We weren't.
Oh my gosh, it's so humiliating
fucked.
to even think
It's
about.
fucked.
It is. It's
It
terrible.
really is.
And we're not, look, if you've seen the Chicago skyline or been down Michigan Avenue, that is not what we're talking about. We're talking about graffiti and drive-bys. And I remember when I was on Gavin's route, there was a shooting, so there was candles and a memorial
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
sidewalk.
If you know anything about Chicago, Humboldt Park area, like it is
Legit.
It is off the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's scary.
That's garbage.
And there you go, and two, for all the people that are like, oh, you're just bashing and all that stuff, like the way I look at it is, I have daughters, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, and I was talking to my mom about this the other day, like, you have no idea what we experienced. You have
Exactly.
these 18, 19-year-old dudes that are bus captains.
Yeah.
Somehow they have spiritual leadership over your daughter.
Yeah.
They go drop her off in the ghetto.
Yep.
Some of them don't even have phones because they just came out at that time,
Dude,
right?
most of them
You
didn't
can't
have
afford 'em.
phones.
And so they're out roaming the streets of Chicago, which I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago.
You know.
Like, that's not a place to go just, like, hang out
Yeah,
and be
it's-
like, hey, let me tell you about Jesus. Like,
No, that's scary.
I'm
You're like,
sure
Jesus?
there are
You know he
plenty.
says?
I'm sure there are plenty of stories of
Yeah, if we
that
could get,
crap.
yeah, that would be a comment like crazy shit that happened to our like the women on those bus routes.
There is a
Not from the
dynamic.
bus captain, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
another.
yeah,
that's
that's
another,
all.
Yeah, that,
thing.
well, that's
That's another thing.
That's core documented. So in some cases.
Yeah.
But
dude, like-
there are a lot of stories, and I think it's pre us, but there are a lot of stories of gang affiliates protecting people from the Indiana church. I don't know if they're true or trumped up, but I remember. Do you guys ever remember hearing those?
I've always wondered if the gangs got paid off in Chicago by a certain individual at the church.
it wouldn't
because
it wouldn't surprise me. There
Dude,
were people
like-
on the First Baptist payroll that were not First Baptist employees.
how the hell do I go to Caprini Green
Jeez,
They go walk around and they're like, Jesus man's right here, you know, and I'm just like, I'm from that area, so
Yeah,
like, I
you
tell my
know.
mom, and my mom's like, what are you
What
doing?
the
And I'm
fuck are you
giggling
doing?
like, Mom, you just don't
It's
worry about it.
fine.
I'm doing the work of the Lord,
I'm not
right?
gonna get a cat busted in my ass.
Oh my gosh! Like,
Did you ever-
and for you,
I know you-
for those of you that don't know Cabrini Green, like, there's fences going up all the sides of these project
Yeah.
buildings because they would throw people over.
Yeah, it's not.
Fuck.
They're like,
That I
go
didn't
tell
know.
them about Jesus. Yeah, no, it's
And
crazy.
don't get killed, by the way.
Yeah.
Did you ever? I know you did. I'm pretty sure I did as well. I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't have, but did either of you ever walk on a basketball court and interrupt a basketball game?
Yeah,
Stop
in my
the whole
floor
game.
shine shoes
Right?
and like go jam and then
Right.
look like a retard. And I'm like, I'm actually really good at basketball, but I'm sliding all over the place right now.
Oh,
and
for
I'm
sure.
gonna
I did
injure
that. Yeah.
myself.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, because we always had to wear suits or shirt and ties.
It had to be a shirt and tie.
Polos.
It
But
had to be a
you know
shirt
what
and tie.
pissed me off? This is what pissed me off too about being broke and going to school there. They wanted you to have the best of the best clothes.
Yeah.
I'm sweeping
How
a
can I afford
freaking
it?
bus
Yeah.
with a
Yeah,
full-blown
dude.
suit.
Yes.
And
yes.
it's like humidity through the roof, and I got freaking
And that was
Cheetos all over everything.
Well, here's the paradox there. Sunday, it's a rule that you have to wear a suit coat. If you're at church, you have a suit coat on.
Yeah.
In fact, correct me if I'm wrong, it had to be a suit coat. It could not be a sports coat.
Yeah, sports,
no, he had to be a suit.
It's a suit.
Yeah.
So for those of you that
We're not
may
even
not,
talking about my suit bill.
sport
I
coats.
forgot about
Sport coats were only allowed like on a Wednesday.
that was
night.
Wednesday. Yeah, that was Wednesday,
never
and
went
that was
to
for
Wednesday.
and that was for
Never.
dinner. That was if you want to go to dinner at the college.
Yeah.
We talked about that before, but just to make this clear to everyone, a sport coat means you can throw it on with whatever. It doesn't. It should jive, but it doesn't have to match. A suit means you have the pants and the suit jacket that are the exact same material. They match. So on Sunday, that is what you had to wear. Let's break down fucking Sunday, okay?
Oh, yeah,
Hot
that's
chips.
crazy.
You're getting up at 3 or 4 in the morning to go rent a bus. That's already fucking filthy. You're getting kids on that bus, and the kids, I'm not calling them filthy. I'm saying they bought and we fed them hot chips, which is the hot Cheetos. We had all
everything.
kinds of. We had a shitload of
Food.
candy for them. We would have nachos
Anything
and
to bribe
cheese.
them to come to church and call it Jesus.
Yes,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
But what I'm saying, we would buy pizza sometimes, and it was our job to keep that bus clean. In fact, that bus had to be swept out at the end of the day before we returned it
Because
because it was
Jesus
a rental.
swept. Yeah.
Jesus
Oh,
swept.
Jesus.
But what I'm trying to get at is the oxymoron there
Yeah.
is that you're wearing. Sorry, not to interrupt you guys. I know you're having a moment.
No,
I'm
you're
so
fine.
sorry.
Like, I want to have the moment with you.
I forgot about Jesus. Swear to God.
It's a good one. But you're wearing a full-on suit. This is something you wear to a formal dinner, to a business meeting. If you're a banker, you wear it to work every
That
day.
I spent hundreds of
It's
dollars on.
Jesus' business. Dude, I got smart.
Yeah,
Smart.
talk to us.
I want to see, when did I join 14? I want to say it was my sophomore year.
Okay.
I bought a suit.
Where were you before that? You
I was,
fucking
I was in Division 9.
fucking fuck.
Well, Division
9,
Division
that was-
14 didn't really exist. It split off from 9.
Oh,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
I went straight to 14 with Charles. I was never.
Which
I
how they
went straight to
restructured
14.
things too. We got to talk about that. But I'll let John finish because
I went straight to 14 with Charles, and I know this because I had a 14 button.
yeah, I remember you
my
were in
freshman
14
year.
right off the bat.
Yeah,
Yeah, but when did you join 14? Was it your
my freshman year,
Yes,
bro,
that
right
is
away.
first semester?
Yeah,
He was always in 14.
we're about to throw down, people.
No, he was always in 14.
Dude, then
Always.
because who was the division leader?
Lebugan.
No.
Yeah.
Bro, Lebugan was with Dustin Moore. Like it started like our freshman year.
I
like
know
it was
that.
9.
I know that. I
It
was
must have
14.
been at that moment then because
must have been.
Lebugan's was with Dustin Moore and Andrew Hamilton.
Okay, yeah.
That was the beginning because that's where we went.
Okay, so I came in January, so just a recourse here.
John's like,
I was
hang
probably
on.
right. It probably did. He's probably right. It probably did switch.
It must have been
But
like
when
at the
I was
very
there,
beginning.
Bugan was 14. The
Right,
whole
because
time.
I know he took it, so it must have been the split then. Because I was in 9.
All I know is that a fucking 14 button, okay, and I was
Bro,
very
it was
proud
how
of that
it could
shit.
it's how innocent. It could have been a 9. You just didn't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's quite possible.
I just bought. I had
What'd you get?
I had
What'd you do?
one suit.
Yep.
And I wore it every single Sunday.
Was it the blue one?
It was the black
Okay.
the black checkered one.
Okay, yeah.
Every single Sunday.
Yeah.
Because I knew shit was gonna go down.
Oh yeah, and, dude, I did the same. I had a black suit, and that's the one I wore. It never got dry cleaned. It was always filthy.
Every
there was
Sunday.
no point.
No point. What
Kids
was
were gonna throw
Well,
up on you.
Well,
the
see,
kids
my
were gonna-
problem was I came from the outsider view, right? And so they're like, you have to have a suit for Sunday, so I went and got
a
bought
nice
a
ass
nice suit.
suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then because
I feel
remember
like
you
it was
had to polish your shoes
I
on
remember
Sunday
you
and
had
all
a
that
light suit.
Oh yeah, dude, I had a light suit that was like actually kind of boss because I had
Yeah,
this like.
I know it was a good suit.
Dude, it was so good.
And
you
your,
can't
the
wear that?
Christianity was judged by how many buttons were on the side.
Dude,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
had to
yeah.
have all those
Yeah, it
buttons.
was like 7
Do you
buttons
remember?
down.
Does anyone else remember that? You guys remember that style where it was all these? Now it's
The
like the 2 or the
buttons?
3. The buttons, like 5 or 6 fucking buttons
in a row.
Yeah, yeah.
So they went from
Well,
a double
I think that was like Metro's deal, or who was the one that was?
the suits.
Yeah,
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 that's what I was.
definitely you guys.
I had a couple.
They had the crazy fucking suits and the
big-ass
ginormous
Bibles.
family
Yeah.
Bibles.
Yeah, yeah, I
These
remember.
fools.
You got to, and you
I
sit
re-
down front and
No,
you're the
always.
loudest.
These
and-
guys, I remember
you
youth
guys
conference.
were great,
You remember
though.
youth conference
Yeah,
at
yeah,
Pastor
yeah,
School?
no, we know.
These guys were always the first in line. Always got the front row. And
You guys were legit.
There was a
But
time-
you guys made me giggle when I would come. I'm like, man, they're cool. Like,
Yeah, well, we
I
had
wish
to
I could
have
be
fun
in
with
with
it.
the cool
John
kids.
Baberzan Jr. did a good job with us. Like,
Oh, for sure.
He was always fun. It wasn't anything crazy because he was the only youth pastor that I had.
Yep.
I think
Yeah.
before him there was somebody else that did it, but he was the only one I had coming up. But we always had a blast. Like
No, you
we
could
got-
tell always.
Yeah.
You guys had a different vibe than the rest of the fundies.
Yeah, like
That
it
was
was.
true.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, our church wasn't as. I mean, we had the same rules, but it wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't as crazy. I mean, we still had the same. I mean, bus routes and stuff, but it wasn't like. It wasn't crazy.
wasn't as nuts though.
Yeah.
So
as it is now.
when you're trying to date, the thing I don't know. I guess I think maybe dating is I'm beating a dead horse on that because that's something that I've
Well,
talked
you don't
about.
gotta call her that.
Oh God. So
Thoroughbred, right? I think there was an email or something like that.
There was definitely
Thoroughbreding. What?
Shut the
Save
fuck
a
up.
horse, ride a cowboy.
I knew you were gonna say it. I knew you were gonna. Look, if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook and you're not a personal friend of mine on Facebook,
You need to
just disregard all that. That's all it was some fucking weird ass Facebook
Face back
thread.
mountain.
I think we're mixing Disneyland and the gay movie. Spaceback Mountain.
Okay, I need to get to a new-
Brokeback.
A new subject. So let's talk about chapel because I did want to get into dating, but honestly, I think I've depleted that. So chapel was just looking back was one of the most ridiculous things. So Hyles Anderson Chapel. So you had chapel, and by the way, there's a lot of things that we're going to go over that are still propagated in these other IFB schools, and this is absolutely one of them. Chapel is every day of the week. So picture this, okay? Here's how. Let's
Did we
talk
get
about
credits
this.
for chapel? We should have.
We should have. Yeah, it's an hour out of our day. No, we didn't. How many sermons did we hear a week, including night bus? Let's do it all.
Oh,
let's
Jesus.
start on Let's
I
start
love
on Monday.
Night Bus, though.
No,
We're gonna
no,
start
let's start
Monday.
on Monday. So on Monday you had chapel.
Yeah.
Yep.
On Tuesday you had chapel.
Yep.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday you had chapel. That's 5.
Okay.
Okay, so we're at 5.
Yeah.
Then you have one
On-
tonight if you went.
Wednesday. Okay, so Wednesday night for
We're
sure.
at 6.
And if we're being honest, Saturday morning
Bus
2.
meeting.
So yeah.
You had 2.
The
You
main-
had
the main bus
one,
meeting.
and then you had the one where he got.
Oh, what about
Devos?
Devos though?
the-
Like, if you went to Devos,
And you went to
had it
Devos.
every
Okay, so
single
we're at
morning.
8. So is that every morning?
That was every morning. Yeah, you had
Fuck.
to
So that's
I'm pretty
5
sure,
more.
right?
So we're at 13.
So we're at 13.
We're at 13 with Devos.
Right.
Like let's be real
Well,
here.
no, just double it because you got 5 and then you got 5 and 5, which is
You
10.
got 10.
10, and then
And
you
then
have
Wednesday night,
Wednesday night is 1, so
11.
11, and then 2 on Saturday.
right? But then if you were captain, that was your third one.
Oh,
Yep,
right,
Because
right.
you had main bus meeting, then you had your
Jesus
main
Christ.
division
Let me
meeting, and then
break
your
this
bus
down
captain's
for everyone.
meeting.
You have now heard 14 messages, most of them scathing,
Yeah.
and it's not even
It's
fucking Sunday.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Get that. All right, so
And
we're
none of it was Bible.
No,
That was
we're at,
like-
no.
So we're at 14
we're
right
at
now.
14, and it's Sunday morning, and you're up at 2 in the morning to go to Illinois Bus Company to get your fucking Bluebird, and you don't nothing on the way. We got a reprieve on the way out. Whoever you were riding with, wherever, you definitely didn't have to have one. On the
No,
way.
in the morning?
But on
And
the
if
way.
you had a car, you got used and abused. 'Cause
Oh,
it's like,
fuck
oh,
yeah! You have a car.
Let me
brother,
recruit you.
brother
It
John,
doesn't matter if you're.
join my bus route. Have a burrito. That's it. That's
It
all
doesn't
I'm gonna
matter
do
if
for
I
you.
like you or not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're in
you
my
have a
route
car.
because you have a car, and I'm
Exactly.
going to use it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Charles did that shit. So,
So we're at 14.
So we're at 14. Sunday morning on the way to church, you had another
On the
one.
bus, yep.
That's 15. Now, granted, it wasn't for your benefit. It was to save the people before they got there, so they go right to the baptistry.
Still
or
had to-
whatever.
still had to hear
You
that.
still had to hear that bullshit.
That's
So
15.
we're at 15. So then you have Sunday school.
Sunday school, 16.
You could call that a class. At First Baptist Hammond, wasn't a fucking class.
Dude, I don't even. Yeah.
So
Sunday
we're at-
school, what do we do? I mean,
It's fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
16. Sorry.
Yeah.
It
16.
was 16. Then you have
Teen
to
church.
listen. Teen church, I think that, but that's a
Oh.
main service. Either way, that's a main service.
Oh, but what about the?
What do you mean?
The
Teen
program?
church, main church, whatever. You have church. The next one is Sunday school and then church. So you have 2 more.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
you
so it's a
put them
main
together.
service wherever you're at.
that puts you at
Spanish,
16 or
teen, whatever.
17.
Yeah. So you're at. Wait, hold on. You're at 16, right?
16.
We're at 16. Sunday is not quite half over.
No,
yet.
it's 17 because there's
17.
3. Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
we were at 14 on Saturday. Then you have your on your way in. Your Sunday school and then the main
Okay,
service.
so now we're at 17.
Yeah.
And then you have the youth program or whatever the kids go to, which some people don't stay for, right? Because
After
after
the
yeah.
after school
Well,
program.
'cause
or
we-
whatever.
I never got preached at there, but were there sermons there
It's
on
probably
that?
more- it was
I don't
probably
know.
more
That
like-
was more Ricky.
Yeah,
no,
I
there
don't
was.
remember.
I'm pretty
He's
sure
not
there-
super big on preaching.
Yeah, I think they just did stuff. I don't know.
Oh, come on.
I
you talked
went.
about
I
Twinkies
went.
and
I
stuff.
went a few times, but I don't remember
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
I remember like an informal sitting in the gym, like talking about dicks and shit. I don't really
no.
remember.
They would start out, I'm pretty sure, unless that was the
Okay.
bus kid
Yeah, go on.
thing, unless I'm mixing stuff. But I was on B routes, right? So my schedule was different than your guys'.
Yeah.
Right.
But,
But
anyway,
everything else was congruent up
yeah,
until afternoon programs.
I thought they used
Afternoon
to
programs,
preach,
what's
and then
called.
they would split up, and we would do our stuff. I want to say that's what would happen, but maybe
All right, I'm not gonna fight you on it. We're at 18.
Yeah.
No, we're
but,
at 18.
But besides that, anyway, you got the message
Okay,
home.
well,
and the
yeah.
program
So
home.
there you go. So that'll substitute. Those will
Yeah.
cancel out. So you stayed for afternoon program and had a message, or you went home and you had another message on the way back.
18.
So it's 18 either way.
Yeah.
So it's 18. I don't feel like there was another message on the way into church. We were all dead.
We were dead
We were
zombies
tired.
and
We had
sleep.
had Taco Bell, and we were just like,
No,
if we weren't trying to feel up our
Too legit to
girlfriend,
quit.
we were asleep.
Yeah.
So then we get to church. I'm speaking from personal experience.
I never did that.
You definitely were not speaking in generalities.
No.
There was no generalities.
There was no
That
German
that
porn involved.
testifying.
So
So we're at 18,
we're at 18 and it's Sunday night.
19.
So you have so 19, and I think there's only one on Sunday night, right? There's no
Main
way
service, no.
the main service, right?
Well, then
And
night
then-
bus.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Then the shit show.
And then night bus, which is
Saturday Night Live, only go
So-
on Sunday.
just as ridiculous as Saturday Night Live. So night bus was now you have. So let's make it before we get to night bus and all the fucking crazy shit. Let's make it 20 because there was definitely another one that was somewhat less illegitimate than the actual night bus on the way back to the college, right, or back to the church. Because there was one on the way back. There was
Yeah.
one. There were several on the way back. But usually the first one was your division leader or someone, and it was for the bus
It was
kids
for
and
the,
everyone
it was
else.
for the
yeah.
teens that had
Right.
come
Yeah,
Right,
on the
right.
way to drop them off.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
But I'm
It
saying
was still the program.
you have
and-
20. So before you get to night bus, which is we've never have we never talked about night bus on Not Your Mother's podcast,
We-
bro. We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
I think we lit on it. I don't think we really
We
lit
didn't-
into it.
No.
All right,
Really.
you guys, you're in for a fucking treat.
If you want to
So-
be a man,
Yeah.
you ride night bus. Right?
Okay, hang on. We're not there yet. So on your way into Chicago, which
Night
by
bus
the
was
way,
fun.
it was, except I got my ass ripped every time. So on your way in,
Rip ass.
you are you're on your way in. That's an hour drive at least.
Oh,
yeah.
for sure.
So
As-
you're
as the
getting
crow flies.
So you're getting a good 45 minutes to a half an hour at least of a solid preaching. After they got all the crazy songs out of
Yeah.
the way, you got some not solid preaching, but preaching.
And then if your division leader thought he was the shit, then you'd sit there parked before you drop off the kids. So you
Oh
could
my
finish
God,
the sermon.
Andrew Hamilton!
Oh,
Goddamn,
and then you're like
pull it up
sweating.
because you had the main
Yes.
bus that met up with another
Yeah,
bus
yeah,
to
yeah.
help drop off.
Yeah.
God,
What
that was
if-
miserable.
Okay, so let's talk
Oh,
through
'cause
that
that's not
dynamic.
us, yeah,
No,
yeah.
let's talk. No. I want you to talk about that. So that's interesting. What he's saying is, I just want to play it out
Yeah.
because we haven't really said exactly the nuts and bolts of what's happening here.
Yeah.
So on Sunday morning, I think a lot of us, IFB or otherwise, are familiar with people picking people up on church buses to go to church Sunday morning. At First Baptist Church Hammond, and I'm sure other churches across the country,
Yeah.
there's also a night service, and so you would pick people up from the inner city to come to your night service as well. In fact, many of them were the same ones that rode the bus in the morning.
Right.
So instead of them going home and having a nice normal afternoon, they'd stick with you the whole day, or they'd go home and you go pick them up at their houses.
And these were only the kids that want to be serious.
These are the
about
legit,
Jesus.
mostly our CB kids.
Yeah.
So you would, which is City Baptist, which is a school that First Baptist had. So you'll come back for Sunday evening church, and then you go back to Chicago a third time
Yeah.
on Sunday to drop third time. Is my math? Am I the fast
Yeah.
maths? So John doesn't care. So you go back to where
I mean, pizza.
yeah.
I was
all that matters
disappointed.
right
I got
now.
shut down about night bus. It was like, stop.
No.
Nuts and bolts. Like,
That's what I want, but I know we have people listening that
no,
don't
you're fine.
know.
I'm totally getting it.
Oh, hang
I'm
on,
just-
let me drink more whiskey because you hurt my feelings like the Anchormen thing.
Anchorman.
Dude!
Oh, he does not know.
Yeah.
Nobody was talking negative about Anchorman.
No, Anchorman.
No, he was an Anchorman.
I had
like, he was
bro,
the Anchorman
I had a
quartet.
seat. My at my
Where
church
is the
in
anchor?
Missouri.
We forgot it. Like,
Oh,
John,
I know, I
stop
didn't get one.
offending Stuart.
When I was a freshman in college, I think it was freshman. Had to be freshman year, right?
Yeah, it was
Maybe
freshman year. It was like,
sophomore.
it was literally like
No,
one
it's
of the
freshman
first times
because
that
I gave it
met
to
you.
April.
You gave it to your girlfriend?
I don't know
You
if I
gave
call her a girlfriend.
You gave her whatever she was. You gave her unapproved contraband. Like,
and I was super proud of it too.
This,
Okay,
this,
John's like,
this is the face of someone not in the know. So we're gonna fix that right now.
let me put you in the know, bro. So, I made in the basement of my church a quartet CD with some guys from my church.
How did I not know this?
I don't know.
well, the way I found out was I think we were all riding with Gavin back from America.
Oh no!
Or no, did you have a car there? You
No,
didn't have a
never.
car.
Not until my senior year.
This Anchorman, whatever.
Was it in Gavin's car?
CD was in Gavin's car.
my
And I
God.
picked it up and I was
I don't
like,
remember
what
this
the
at all.
hell is this, right?
It
I'm
was-
like, let's listen to
That's
this.
the name of the group?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I start like crapping on it
John
like
is just-
hardcore, right?
And
like,
I'm
what?
sitting in the car. This is me singing, and
And
John's
he doesn't
like,
know. So it's just like pure, like nothing personal. It's just like
just visceral. This shit is awful, and I'm just like, oh god, like it really like
I just,
I
like,
didn't
ripped
want
his
it to be
heart out
that
and,
bad.
you
I
know.
thought maybe it was, and now it's being literally confirmed for me. This is the worst shit ever. Your
but then you
voice
went
is
to be
terrible.
on tour, so
But
4
then-
years later.
But then, because
Sorry,
I'm
spit
an
on you.
ass, I was like, hey, Anchorman. Like, I would always do
Always
it, right?
bro,
me,
we've
dude.
known each other for what?
Did I?
You weren't
A long
at
I
the
want to
fucking
say
fucking
over
time.
15 years, and I had no idea. Not only
There's-
did I not know,
hang on.
I was never invited
Bro,
to join these singing
Don't worry,
groups.
he was rejected too. Like, let's
There
hear
was-
the full
There was no like trust. There's a reason you weren't invited. It's terrible.
Dude,
but I
he's
took
put
it.
it in to get approved,
and it-
and Hiles Anderson disapproved of it. They rejected it.
I didn't get the sticker.
And there wasn't for any other reason there. It's like, this is
This
so
is
bad.
shit.
This is so bad.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't my fault. I
Does
didn't know.
this still exist anywhere? Are there copies?
I've looked. I've tried. I tried to find it.
Scoured the internet.
eBay. Do they have a Christian eBay?
Oh, Keybay. I don't know, dude.
Do they have
But anyway, that was the first time where I was like, dude.
Dude, we had to do Christian eBay called Potter's Field or something. That'd be great. Like,
That would be
because that's where like
terrific.
everybody
Yeah.
of like nothing goes there.
Oh my god.
That's great. Don't take that.
All right, so. So, anyways, that was
Anchorman.
quite. How did we get to Anchorman?
We did it twice.
Anchorman.
Because, I don't know, you thought I was going to say something, or I don't know.
Okay, so nuts and bolts. So you're bringing these
'cause I
people.
offended
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
that's
You
right.
offended
Nuts
me.
and bolts.
Good, good
I'll
work.
be quiet now.
Shut the fuck up.
What song were you
So,
singing?
shut the
I'll just hum
fuck
it.
up. No, it was definitely way before that. It was.
I don't have that falsetto part.
This is
for that,
happening,
though.
I guess. So, fucking assholes.
You're about to sit and just be like this.
I'm just like,
You gotta get the anchor. Like, just,
fuck.
I'm gonna buy you one.
Okay, fucking night bus. Drink some more whiskey and shut the fuck up.
You drink more
So-
whiskey and he's gonna talk more.
Exactly, that's a problem. So, you're taking these people that you brought to church for the second time. You're taking them back. Here you go. It's all good.
No, I'm not
Okay,
gonna
okay.
say.
Gotcha. So we're taking them back. You're taking them back to Chicago, and on the
Right.
way back, you're preaching to them some more.
Yep.
The big wigs get to preach to them, not us little shits. The big wigs. So they get to preach to them, and then another. So they're keeping us all on the same bus, and we're crammed on there, and it's
Yeah,
either
and
very
it
hot
is
or very
sweltering or
no. It's always
freezing?
hot. No, it's not freezing. There's too many of us. I don't think it was ever
Oh, yeah,
freezing
that's
on.
true.
Freezing definitely on the bus many times, but on
my
that
feet
one.
were always cold.
Yeah, my feet were
Yeah,
always
Somehow I was always
for
sweating.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
not sure how
There's
that
a lot of
close
hot
to the
air there.
exterior.
I mean, we were,
Yeah, right.
we were
For
preaching
sure.
fire and brimstone.
Yeah.
Nothing about hell, just about clothes and shit.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But
Nuts and bolts.
what's funny is another bus would meet us to go drop people off.
Yeah.
So you're telling me we didn't even need to be here this whole fucking time?
Yeah.
That's
no,
what
you
you're telling me?
did, because that's your man card.
I know, but I'm just saying, like,
Right.
in reality, it's
Yeah.
like, what? I didn't even need it.
Totally
what the fuck?
not logical at
yeah,
all.
extremely illogical. And I did get smart eventually and rode that bus with Billy Paw. I was done. I would ride that bus. I would talk to my girlfriend on the way back. Like, I would sweep out the bus. It was a chill night.
Yeah, see,
and
they-
Billy was good people. Is good people.
Yeah,
so,
you
like,
have to just figure out the system. Like, there's
Yep.
certain things like,
Game it.
I'll volunteer to ride this bus,
Mhm.
and like, oh my god, thank
But
you.
you never can be like, you're not like, oh, I'll ride the other bus. You're like, You know what?
You had to act like you were disappointed.
Man, like I'm so upset.
I
that
had the
was you
sermon
guys.
I've been praying about.
Yeah.
Gotta play it up.
But you know,
I've got to work on it some more. So I'm gonna ride the other bus and do some notes and work on it.
maybe I'll throw it down on the
on the
on the other night bus.
Right, exactly. So that bus would go and drop everyone off. We don't give a fuck about that. We're not gonna talk about that right now.
Yeah.
That go drop everyone off. The other bus would go back to Hammond, Indiana, where all our cars were fucking parked. And that bus
Not mine,
was...
I didn't have a car.
Yeah, mine neither. Sorry, Gavin's car. We're Gavin. Gavin was the only
I
person.
love you, Gavin.
Gavin was the only person in college
Gavin,
that had
you're
a
good
car.
for so
He
many
had that
things.
little green Saturn, and
Yeah.
the whole... all of us rode in that Saturn. That was it.
At some point.
Do you remember who was with us? Maybe it was just me. No, it was me and Gavin and that Greg kid. I think his name was Greg.
Panate?
And no, not
Oh,
Panate.
sorry.
No, the kid with the big glasses. Actually,
Pinata?
about this size. No.
He said Panate. I thought he was gonna say
Pinata.
Pinata. I don't know. That's a bit on the nose.
Close. So we're driving back, and Gavin pops in David Phelps.
Love me some David Phelps.
You don't remember this. No one was with us. So Gavin pops in some David Phelps, and this kid like comes unglued. Not like craziness, but just like, is that approved music? Clearly, you fuck. It's not approved music. Like, we're not riding the night bus. We're skipping the night bus, and we're listening to wicked music about
Dude, you
Jesus.
guys are so ungodly.
We're the worst.
I
Anyways,
got raked in so bad.
Yeah, but I was like,
yeah, but that
dude,
was me my freshman and most of my sophomore year. Like, I wasn't.
No,
this
but like for
until-
me too, like just like I remember, and I'm gonna forget. That's why I have to plug it in, even though you're doing nuts and bolts. But
Yeah, I got off of that.
I remember getting ripped to shreds so much, but it was all
what?
about performance.
Yeah, I
Like you
did
have
that
to
too.
do this, and then they act like you have to read your Bible and pray and stuff.
There's
Like,
no way
I
we all
remember
did
one
that.
kid like always used to like lay down prostrate on the floor because that's what Jack Hiles did,
Yeah.
right? In one of the like laundry rooms or something
Yep.
like that, and pray every morning or whatever. But I remember leaving Chicago and having the thought in my mind like. Because I was totally sold on
Yep.
everything they did in the beginning, and I was like, dude, I hope I did enough, because their blood's going to be on my hands for me
Isn't
not
that
doing
crazy?
enough. And I'm like, dude, I'm getting
What
2
a
hours
mind
of
fuck.
sleep. I'm paying them to abuse me.
Yeah.
Like, what in the world? And I'm
It's a
literally
mind
having
fuck.
those thoughts. Yeah, it was weird. But anyway,
I want to
sorry.
talk to that. No, I want to.
sorry
That's
to
a good. No, that's great
that out
stuff.
there.
No, that's great. But excuse me. So night bus, just to give everyone that doesn't know, or if you do know, enjoy the catharsis here, or whatever you want to call it. Night bus is we're on our way back to Hammond. It's over. It's over. Finally,
Yeah.
Relief.
Sunday's over.
And we're talking this like 10:40 right about
Yeah,
now.
no, it's
When-
late
when
as
we start
fuck.
heading back.
Yeah. We're
It's
heading
about
back from
10:40, 11
Chicago
o'clock.
around 11 p.m. Okay, and we have an hour drive ahead of us.
Yep.
Our bus captains and division leaders, generally workers didn't get much time, but it happened every once in a while.
Oh, I did.
Our
I was
division,
rippled.
yeah, our division leaders and bus
Stupid
captains
shit.
would get up, and they would preach. And look, I don't know how to say it because what we were
No
hearing
more
was
pervy diapers.
what we were hearing was total bullshit. Anyways, I mean, from the esteemed theologians at our
Yeah.
college was already bullshit. This was another level of bullshit.
Yeah, like 2
People-
Peter 3:16, like the dumbass speaking, and it's like, dude, you are a dumbass speaking, but God used that dumbass, bitch. Like, you need to.
The stuff that was said on Night Bus would curdle your blood if
Yeah.
anyone thought it was legit. Like,
Especially
Yeah.
Division 2. Like, that was rugged.
dude, like no one got up to preach with the intent of being helpful. Well, that's not true. That's not
No,
true.
It
That's
was
not
all
true.
helpful.
No. In reality, no sarcasm. Billy Paul would get up and he would give us good shit. I remember that
Yeah.
well. But everyone else was preaching against what? Give me something. You guys remember anything? I think I
Like,
blocked a lot of it
People
out.
sleeping in church, like,
The
Crazy
main
stuff.
thing was just like what you didn't
you're
do.
a sucking
Yeah.
worker? Oh, yeah.
It was like, oh,
yeah,
like,
I got called out all the time.
I remember somebody just getting ripped for like not like it was like you don't want to volunteer to sweep a bus or like some crazy.
So-
yeah, that's
but-
why it was Jesus swept. It was
Yeah.
coined. Like, Jesus wept, John 11:35,
Jesus
Jesus swept
swept.
a bus.
Here's the thing the dynamic that I want to put into play for people to understand. This is a bus with 20 people on it.
Yeah.
20, 15, somewhere between
Yeah.
15 and 30, right?
Sure.
Can we agree
Yeah.
on that? So
Depending-
between 15 and 30. Your person that was your leader of your group. So we all had bus captains, right? So the bus ministry broke down. Division leader was over the entire division.
Yeah.
And then almost militaristic, right? Am I wrong?
Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Rank
division
and
leader,
file.
and then you had your bus captains,
Yep.
and then you had your male and lady workers beneath those bus captains. Your bus captain knew a lot about your personal life
Oh, of
because you were
course.
with him all day Saturday
Yeah.
and all day Sunday.
Even though he's like your same age. Like, we're
Right,
talking
he's- yeah,
18
but he's
to
over
20 some years old. Unless they're there forever.
Right. Yeah, there's plenty of those. But he knew a lot about your personal life.
Yeah.
He knew what you did all day Saturday and Sunday. He saw you at college. He saw you throughout the week.
Yep.
And in my case, we all sat. Our bus route sat together in chapel. And so,
Oh.
yeah, we were legit. Yeah, Charles Osgood don't fuck around.
I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, don't fuck with us.
You guys
So
were flaming.
I don't remember my bus. 80-11. Ooh, that was close.
89.
What was yours? Do you remember?
80-10.
80-10.
I was 89.6, I think.
How crazy is that we can all
Because,
remember?
dude,
How many
remember
years
the
ago?
goal? You had
Yeah,
to
it
like
was
write that
drilled
down.
in.
Dude, one time
bus
we
signs?
stole bus signs. We stole them, and we like
When
lit
did
them
you
up.
steal them?
And of course,
When did you steal them? Before Sunday?
on
No,
Sunday
on Sunday.
or something like that,
You
we
went to
stole
people's
their
buses?
bus signs, and we got in so much trouble. And it was like Division 5
fucking awesome.
merged with Division 4, and I remember, if he ever watches this, which I doubt he will, but he used to be the division leader of 14,
Uh-huh.
right, that you guys were talking about. And he used to be the dorm soup, too, or not the dorm soup, but the head of
Yeah,
Malone,
no, he was
right?
on Malone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, we were all about be a whore in Division 4. Like, we would always say that. They're primarily
That's
Hispanic,
hilarious.
was
Okay.
Division 4 at first,
Okay.
and then there was Division 5.
Right.
But then Division 4 and 5
Merged.
merged,
Mhm.
which why they did that, and they merged it was because they wanted 5 to straighten out
4.
4.
You guys are
The
that
reason why
bad.
they want to straighten them out is because they're straight up racist, right? And they don't want these Hispanics doing it. No offense
Right,
to them,
right.
but that was legit.
Oh,
like
no, I
they
believe
can
it.
say
Who was
whatever
o-
they
who was
want.
over for?
So Freddie Deanna actually was the one that had the Division 4 heyday, right?
Right.
And then he went
Oh.
and took the pastor.
Right.
And then it was all of his, like, what Division 5 would say, his mafia,
Underlings,
right?
yeah.
And so you can't have Francis's crew, which is Bradbury and 5,
Right.
And you can't have that and then have this out of
It's not gonna
control
coexist,
division.
yeah.
Which I'm not gonna lie, Division 4 was very much about people
Yeah,
and doing the people thing.
probably.
And they didn't want that because they just wanted numbers, right?
Yeah.
And so anyway, they merged, and I remember in Malone, like I was like tagging up stuff with like black permanent
You're the
marker.
gang.
And then they're like, who's doing this?
Throwing up
I know
signs.
it is. like, and yeah, but we did. We stole the bus
That's
signs.
awesome.
Like that was
That's-
my
that's
initiation
terrific.
in
That's
Division
fucking
4. We
awesome.
like laughed.
I
so
love
hard.
that. That's awesome.
Because like
So-
those lady workers
They
slaved
worked hard.
over those
They
bus
worked
signs.
every
and I
weekend.
Totally, like,
Every weekend,
stole
it was a
those.
new one every fucking weekend.
I know.
You're
That's
an
how you know
asshole.
if you have a good lady worker.
Dude, she makes
Dude, if she wants to be a spirit leader, that's what she got to do.
Well,
I'm a spirit
in
leader.
That, in that dynamic,
Like,
yeah,
let me share some pardons.
some spirits, some preachers.
spirit.
I
pardon.
prefer the spirit leading me. But
So,
the other dynamic to that is the division leader, bus captain, section leader, and then the section leaders had the workers underneath that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So like it was like that was like a whole thing because you had to have something to aspire to. Like
Very
you're
regimented.
gonna be you just got
Yeah.
promoted to a section worker.
Go.
Oh, section worker, now you're a bus captain. Then.
Yeah. I was on the same bus route for 3 years, and they never made me bus captain, and I was not happy about that.
You know
Had I
what?
gotten the job, I wouldn't have wanted it, but I was not happy.
Speaking about night bus and not being a bus captain,
Yeah.
because dude, I was like hardcore in that, like.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was very shy, believe it or not, going into Hiles Anderson. So I was like, all right, God, like if I'm going here, I'm gonna do whatever's asked of me so
Yeah.
I can get out of my box because like I have to overcome this
Yeah.
fear of talking to people, right? And so I wanted to be a bus captain. Who didn't? Like
Yeah.
that was elite. But at the same time, like I genuinely cared for the people. Well, it just so happens we were having our baptism Sunday, right?
Yeah.
The mass 25,000.
Yep.
And so it was our second time around to the project, and I remember my bus captain telling me, or no, it was the division leader, we're going to the same area because it had high return on investment, right?
Yeah.
This last time.
Yep.
We picked up all the same kids, right?
Jesus.
And of course, they were of a color of skin that they didn't want at that church.
Mhm.
But like literally one of the girls is like, oh, you're the church that we go like this and we just go into the water, right? And then, so anyway.
That's how she identified
Yeah,
us?
that's how she identified us.
Holy shit.
So anyway, I'm there, and right when that happened, that pissed me off because
Yeah.
I was like, that was my second semester, so you guys were
that
already
was a quick
jacked
intro.
up,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm like experiencing it full
For the
fledged
first
at this
time.
moment,
Damn.
and I'm like, dude, this is crazy, right? So we picked up the same kids, did that, and what the division leader would tell us, and our bus captain is like, how you do this, we would get like a race car, or we get some kind of toys or food or whatever, and this is what they would say. It was a sales pitch. If you do everything we tell you to do,
Yep.
you can put in for this toy, right? And this
Right.
raffle, right? And they would say that the whole entire time. I didn't know what was going on at that point.
Yeah.
That's what they told us to do. That's what I was going to do to get out of my box.
Yep.
And then we would drive all the way down to First Baptist. This was like on a Saturday, so we go from the project,
Yep.
go down there. They send all the kids in, and people were paying kids to get baptized.
No, this I did
like
not know.
legit money. And I went and talked to the wonderful division leader.
Right.
Right. I'm like, this is jacked up, and I don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah, because
like,
you're coming from the outside.
Yeah, I'm coming from the outside. I saw all the facade, and I believed it. Like my family wasn't involved in this, so we thought it was real. And so I go talk to the division leader about it, and of course I'm like, Brother Steve, whatever. Like, hey, Brother Steve, like, can I talk to you about something? And I thought I was being like real and legit and helping him out. I was like, dude, they were paying people to get baptized.
Right.
And then I told him too. I was bringing up about picking up the same kids and redunking them. And you know what he told me? He's like, well, John, how do you know if they really didn't not mean it the first time?
And first time, and by the first time, we're not referencing 3 or 4 years ago.
No, we're talking the week before. We went to the same area.
Jesus
and
Christ.
just wrapped these kids up, put them on a bus.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we signed permission slips or not for the
Not
black
for
kids,
all
which
of them.
I'm not discriminating black, but that's how it was.
that's how they did it.
You just grab them from their scenario, you go dunk them, and then you drop them off, and you put a bucket of pickles and pixie sticks, and you just let them have at it, and
So
everybody would
fucked
laugh
up.
like it was a funny game, and go back. And that division leader's like, how do you know they didn't mean it? And then I'm like, dude, are you even kidding me right now? Like, they totally didn't mean it.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, they totally don't know what's going on,
They have
right?
no clue.
And then,
That's
after that, he goes,
crazy.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll talk to Brother Scott, and I'll let him know, and we'll see what he thinks about it. Dude, you know he was not talking about Scott.
No way.
About
That was
any of
the end of the
stuff.
line. The
I
buck
thought he was
stopped
going to
there.
be like, did you give any money?
And so from that day on, I was
Exactly.
actually told that I couldn't be a division leader. Or bus
Buck
captain.
because
I couldn't.
Because you
And
raged
then
against the machine.
Yes,
Yep.
and two, one time I got ripped. I got ripped on night bus too because I had too many demerits and offenses, but it was because I didn't get the approval for the night job and all this stuff. And it's like, dude, you don't even know my life right now.
So going back
And
to
I'm not good enough.
Right. Thank you, John. That was good shit.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. That was good.
But now
But
the good news is I'm pardoned
By the preacher.
by the preacher, giving me
bourbon.
wonderful spirits.
Good shit. So, back to night. That was good. Like these are personal. That's a big part of what I want to do on this podcast. I want people to tell their stories, and so I'm super happy that you talked about all that. But getting back to the night bus thing, we're talking about the people that would get up and speak, which is just angry screaming, were people that knew very intimate details about you.
Yep.
Number one. Number two, they were people who your performance affected how they felt about you 100%. Just like, let's say you have, let's say, this is just a for instance, this is not a real life experience, but some of us have been through it. Let's say you have a boss that just has crazy expectations for what they want you to do at work. And when you don't do it, they go off on a tirade.
Yeah.
And everyone knows it's about you, but generally they don't say your name.
Yeah.
This is the instance in which your name is said. I remember many times my bus captain looking at me and yelling at me in front of 30 other people, yelling at me by name and just basically telling me I was a little shit because I didn't save 30 people this weekend.
Yeah.
By name, in front of all these other people that I had a camaraderie with.
Yeah.
And I trusted this guy, and I gave him information about me, and I thought he was someone that was there to help me, and he put out that all weekend, that vibe was like, man, I'm here to help you, what can I do? And, I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so supportive. And then Sunday night just ripped my face off, as we would say.
Yeah.
That is fucked up.
Yeah,
tell me another, I'm not saying it doesn't occur at all in society, but tell me another dynamic, especially in a ministry.
Yeah.
Well, too,
Where
you're
that
yelling
works.
at the top of your lungs.
They're screaming.
Like, you are humiliating them.
Screaming.
And you got to remember, too, if you put yourself in their shoes, like, they have to perform. They have to get something out of you to be somebody, right?
Yeah.
And they're trying to get positions in the church. I'm not okaying any of it.
Yeah.
But it's
everybody
like crazy
everybody
stuff.
had an agenda.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
Everybody had an agenda. But yeah, I remember night bus to me. It was a little bit. It was. God, I just remember because I started off in Division 9. And I just remember the worst night bus sermon, and I don't even remember. I don't even remember what was preached, but it was in the middle. It was hot as fuck.
Oh my god, yeah.
And I love this guy is like he was like a legit guy. Like he was one of the good ones.
But
dude, made us put up all the windows on the
fuck.
bus, handed out fucking candles,
What
and
the shit?
lit fucking candles. It was like 120 degrees. 120
You don't even
degrees on that
remember what
bus.
the
No
illustration-
fucking idea. I just remember everybody had a fucking candle.
You can't light
And
candles
it
on
was
a
yes, and it was
Pastor.
yeah, bro, it was so
I think it's
intense.
Can you
diesel
imagine
fuel.
all
It
the
was so
codes you're
intense.
breaking?
And like you're already like falling asleep, and you got like hot wax dripping down, and it was just like
All over your lap.
it was brutal. It was
Oh
hot as
my
fuck. The windows were
God.
like it was bad, dude.
Do you
It
guys
was bad.
now? I know the division that me and you were in would
Yeah.
do laps at church.
It's
So-
dude, that happened with
Dude,
that
laps?
happened. That
What do
happened
you mean
with
do
So
laps?
so
Like
when
run
so
laps?
no. So what would happen is
Yeah.
you would see you'd be half paying attention, half trying to stay awake. You'd be like, oh Hammond. Oh God,
Yeah.
we're almost here. I'm gonna get to sleep.
the only
in
time
car.
we really wanted
I'm
to get back to church.
Hammond.
Jeez.
But I remember that feeling of elation. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, we're almost here. I can sleep.
Yeah.
I've been running for 20 some hours. I can
Yeah.
sleep. I'm so excited. And then you get to the fucking church, and this asshole wasn't done preaching, so we would do laps around
Oh,
the
yeah,
block,
yeah,
around
yeah,
fucking
I
Sibley and
remember
Willow Court. And I'm like, what the fuck? Close already.
Yeah.
Fucking close. You know we're here.
They were, yeah, dude.
And then you would hear a
Oh.
crock of shit, and everybody would talk about how good it is on the way back. It's like, dude,
It
at
was
least for me,
terrible. It was
at least
terrible.
for us, because
Yeah,
once again,
us
like,
wicked sinners.
no, once again, like, I mean, there was no doubt there was a great group of guys, like, we all believed in each other and blah, 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 blah,
Legit.
but it was for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
It was all fucked, dude.
It was
Well,
for the wrong reasons.
yeah, dude. Like Night Bus was where like in that
It was
they always
even
put-
made fun of, like
Yeah,
in,
it was a
in
joke
other-
because that's where people like had to get their chops. So
right,
to speak,
it was like
to
you
be
would
able to
preach
do it.
all kinds. I remember, so I don't remember who preached this, but I remember Mike telling a story about a guy right after The Last Samurai came out, preaching a sermon that was pretty much based on the movie.
Yeah, bro. That was like, dude. I think we got lucky because
Well, you guys were in the fun.
Division
fun
14.
Yeah, we had
Division
fun.
14 was like, I mean, apart from like, I mean, I knew all the bus captains pretty
Right.
intimately. There wasn't like really any
How
like
intimately, John?
crazy shit that I knew of.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like scam.
No,
like
Oh,
there
you,
was
guys,
nothing.
you guys were in a really good division.
Yeah.
My division was like they were all about being hardcore. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, like we, and that was the cool thing about it. And it was just like it was one of those things where, but the best way I could like sum up Night Bus was almost like a UFC fight card. You had the prelims.
You had the heavy hitters.
You had
yeah.
the prelims where like this guy is just gonna get up and do shit to
It's
try to
gonna
make
be-
a name, and then you had like the not the co-main
The
event, but
median.
like the undercard fights.
Right.
Didn't you guys do WWE stuff in 14?
They did. No. That
See,
was
that I don't
it.
remember.
Was it? They did Southside did the Southside Wrestling. Where
Yeah.
they did the gym and they
Dude,
set it up.
wrestle.
Yeah.
You were there.
No, I don't
Yeah,
remember this
yeah.
at all.
Mike, yeah, he dressed up as they did the Lucha Libre thing.
Yeah.
I don't
And they
remember.
did like
It must have
Bradbury
been
was there
with
too. You
Skip
guys were
Rock.
there.
Yeah.
Bradbury
When,
was
where,
there.
when, what, where? On
I
the
don't know
bus?
when.
No.
Okay.
They did it. That was a huge. It was like a. It was.
It was a bus.
It was a bus ministry thing.
Bus
A
conference
rally or
thing.
something?
Rally. Bus rally.
Yeah. It was a bus rally. Yeah, we
Man, I
did,
don't
they did
remember
it
that
2 or
one.
3 times,
Wow.
and I think they continued doing it for a while after.
That's funny.
Because they like we got there
That's a
and
whole nother one,
we
huh?
got there and would set it up, and then it was for like the kids too because
Yeah,
the
they
kids,
would-
the
we would
kids
bring
would
the
come
kids. Yeah.
and then they would be like, hey, watch your bus captain whoever get body slammed
Yeah.
or something.
I remember the basketball game. They did a basketball game before.
They
too.
did. They would
Every
do-
every
Southside,
year they would do
Southside
something
like
different.
always won that. Charles
hell
Field,
yeah.
and I love you, Charles. I worked with him for many years at
He's a good man.
But homeboy thought he could ball, and this is credit, like he is.
Oh yeah, he did think he could ball.
But
Isn't that the one that like?
it was always
I don't
north
know
side
if you're
versus south
looking
side.
at me.
Don't.
No.
Don't.
I love you, Charles.
That gets edited. You
Sorry.
fucking ass.
I wasn't.
No, that was hilarious.
I was trying to whisper.
I was trying, dude. With alcohol, this is whispering.
Guys, I am a horrible person. They might.
It's fucking hilarious. No, I'm with it. I did forget about the bus rally. That's something that I blocked out. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Because that was my first
But-
date. Yeah, that's why I blocked it out.
Yeah, no.
Now it registers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was all. Yeah, dude.
But that I just wanted to say how even it was so ridiculous that even that outside of Night Bus got made fun of
Yeah.
because of how fucking ridiculous it was.
Yeah.
It was fucking nuts.
It was
just-
crazy.
It
It was
nuts.
just heresy.
But again, heresy and like there was funny stuff. Like people would get up and like preach and have no clue what they were talking about. And that was
Yeah.
fun. It was fun to yell and get it all out. But at the same time,
Stutter. There was one guy that used to stutter on. Oh no, he wouldn't stutter when he preached. That's right. God took away
He
the
didn't?
stutter.
good for
That
him.
might need to get edited too.
Yeah, no, fuck it. But I do. But the thing to me that was very didn't stutter on the phone either at AmeriCall. So the thing that
I was trying to be
now what I'm going to transition to is not going to work because I just ripped on someone, as we would say.
Hey, we're talking about Night Bus. How can you not rip on somebody?
But the thing that was just crazy to me was how we We're gonna pause for commercial break, and John's gonna step away to fucking laugh.
And here goes the chair.
I wasn't gonna say it. I wasn't gonna say it.
It's like horrible.
Just fucking stop.
It makes me laugh more. All right.
The thing that the big takeaway for me from Night Bus is the fact that you shared very intimate details about your life with someone. You were very close with your bus captain. You really were.
Yeah.
If you were doing the ministry right, air quotes, you were sharing a lot of things with your captain. And then that night, once a week, he would get up and just ream the shit out of you.
He would have
And I get it, and agreed, he did have to. But I got to the point where, very rare was it that I ever thought for myself or thought, like, I should do this for me. That was a very rare thought. But I do vividly recall one night realizing, sitting in church, being dead tired, not being able to stay awake, being worried I was going to get called out for falling asleep in church because I ran for the church all day.
Yeah.
And
mine was my girlfriend would get pissed at me because she's like, be a
Why are you
spiritual
falling
man.
asleep?
And it's like,
I am
dude, you go
fucking
take
tired.
2 hours of sleep every
You
day.
try it.
Like, dude, the girls had
Not
the
that
jacked
they
up
didn't
crap
have
too.
it. Yeah, exactly.
They had really jacked up stuff, but
you
come
don't
on.
get to be tough on someone. No, fuck that. But one Sunday night, I came to the realization, like, I'm gonna go on. I worked my ass off all weekend, and I'm gonna go, and Charles is gonna yell at me again. Call me a pussy. I don't give a fuck. I was over it. I was just like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. And that was the first time. I bitched out of it. I didn't like just not show up. I texted and was like, dude, I'm super sorry. Like, I think what I said, if I remember it right, was like, I went to stand up at the end of the service and I totally passed out and fell over, like lost consciousness. Yeah. That's what I told him. And he was like, oh, okay, we'll feel better. And
I remember you didn't really ride night bus because that was hardcore.
Yeah.
And that's why I wouldn't be able to hang around you because you'd be a bad influence on me because I'm not going to night bus.
I did in the beginning, and then after a while, I was just like, dude, this is fucked.
Yeah.
Dude. I can go instead of so let me paint the picture really quick. Instead of going on night bus, you know what you could do? That was dating time. You could go back.
I couldn't do that.
Why not?
Because my division leader would rip me on night bus and be like, I wasn't hanging out with my wife that I'm married to.
Yeah.
I'm hanging out with all these little girls.
See a problem much?
Yeah.
So fucking, but I remember
she's hanging out with somebody else.
Probably was. But you.
I hope so.
Hope she was getting it. Yeah.
Just married.
Yeah. So, So the thing for me was, I realized what. This guy.
Does anybody remember the dude that had just got married? Like we all know him. I'm pretty sure he had just got married and come back and had a hickey on his neck.
No shit, I don't remember.
Bro, you remember that?
In our division?
No,
or just,
it was a friend of ours.
In general? Okay.
It was a friend of ours.
Fuck.
Yeah, bro, and it was like, bro, oh my god.
Like got married, left college, got married and came back, or like.
Well, I want to say like you're in fuck, how did it go down?
Guess who game?
Yeah. No.
Come on,
I can't say it. Anyways, yeah, it was.
All right.
I had one of those rules where like if I knew somebody that just got married, like I would not shake their hand for the. And I think like it wasn't college. It was after because we all stayed in the same area. Like after college, for sure. And he got married like right out of college, and like he showed up on a Sunday morning. He was like bragging about it to us. It was like, hey, like big old hickey on his neck. I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna touch you. Like I know where those hands have been. And I know your wife. No, bro, I'm not shaking hands with that.
Oh my god, that's gross.
Yeah, I got actually back to night bus. I actually mine was like a lot different because like
I was on yours.
Yeah, but it was
John was cool. He was in his
different. It was different for me. It was different for me because like I said, like I went all in on it. So
yeah,
I was like,
too.
John was,
So like
the Johns were all in. I was all out.
I got it.
You gotta be.
So like it was
YOLO.
like I was like the right hand. I was the right hand
were,
dude. Other than Billy Paul.
No, you were for sure.
Other than Billy Paul, it was like the right. It was like I was like the right hand. So I just remember like one night bus, like because I didn't get ripped on a lot because like there wasn't really much to rip on. Like I was there in the morning. I did all my shit. My grades were fine. Bills were paid. But I just remember like one time, like we had just crushed it. Like I had a goal. It was like this section you need to have 50. Like you had to have 50 to right. We crushed. We had like 75 or something like that. So my side hit it, and the other guy's side didn't hit it. The other section leader, which I felt bad because he had put in just as much work. Right?
Can you tell us who that was? It doesn't matter.
Noel.
Oh yeah.
Orlando. Yeah, great guy.
Good people.
I love that guy. Like nothing negative ever said about that guy.
Yeah.
But I just remember like we get it, but our route overall hit our goal.
Yeah.
And so I just remember like he got right before night bus. Our division leader Mike pulls us aside. He's like, "Look, man," he's like, "You guys had a great day." He's like, "But I'm just gonna give you a heads up. Like, I gotta rip your faces off tonight." Like I'm just letting you know, like, hey, it's nothing. But
That's so
people
Mike.
got to know. People
Hey,
got to know that whatever. I'm like, hey, bro, fuck, I don't
Fuck
care,
it, man.
It was one more thing. I don't give a fuck. Like
Yeah.
I ain't got not right, man.
It's whatever.
But that's what, bro. And so like the whole
Dude,
sermon was
that's
just
so
just
funny.
ripping me and this other guy. And that way, because everybody looked at it was like, oh well, these guys are on his
They're not
bus
gonna
route.
get in
They're not
trouble.
going to get in trouble
Yep.
for anything. And the whole sermon that night after it was like the big program, 7th week of the
Yeah.
program, we smashed it and we just got
ripped
ripped
anyways.
for like
That's
ever.
fun.
That's awesome.
So, but that's
I love
cool.
it.
Like I got a heads up about it. It's like,
That's
hey, I'm
nice.
just gonna let you know, but I'm just gonna rip on you.
But and again,
That's
and
so
I'm
true,
not.
because I remember that too. Because like we had a huge goal too. Like when I first started on the route, there was like 18 kids coming, and then we supposedly got 205.
Right.
Don't ask me how we got the 205. We had 3 buses, and my bus was like half full. So
So
I don't know
That-
where
that's
to
how
put
it was
50
all
other
about
people.
confusion. Because if you had like 5 buses, nobody
Nobody
really
knows
knew.
what's going on.
Nobody
right?
really knew how many
It
was
was
out.
like-
And you got 75 right here. You got 85 over here. You got 95. Like it was like an auction.
And we had to send the 5% back home. So
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
good.
And only 66 people can fit on a bus, so okay.
Yeah.
No, that's why I'm like,
Bro.
like, you figure those numbers
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
Right?
Feels like 180 to me.
Feels
Like, hey man,
feels
205.
like
I went on a
they
trip.
like drove over like one of the weight scales. Yeah, it seems about that way. God, dude, that
But
was terrible.
I'm not trying to shit on Mike at all. I'm just saying, isn't that such a funny construct in any, whether it's ministry, work, business, whatever, that you have to shit on someone after they did a good job? You got to shit on them anyways?
yeah,
That's really fucked.
yeah.
So that's Night Bus, guys. I feel like there was one or two more things I want to get into there.
About Night Bus?
Yeah.
Oh, you forgot the gas station stop. Where like they would
Oh,
stop just like to
yes.
buy like the shittiest
Oh,
food.
yes.
Like oh my god, like
Yes.
I'm gonna take like the taquito, put it in the hot dog
Oh my
bun,
God, yes.
covered in nacho and chili.
Yeah, because we didn't even
I-
need to get a pass to do that. That was like
Yeah,
free
Yeah,
ride
that
on
was-
the
yeah,
town.
exactly.
Yeah.
I remember when I was doing the when I would do the sweet bus with Billy Paul, or the drop off bus. Sorry,
Yeah.
not sweet bus drop, but we did sweet too.
Yeah.
The drop off bus with Billy Paul. I would go and go to the vendors. Do you guys remember the vendors after church?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I would go to the vendors. So it was vendors
Yeah, yeah, I
carts.
remember
Like it was like a
Church
food
bus.
truck.
Road
basically.
coaches, yeah.
Yeah, road. Yeah, that's more correct. But we would go and they would have. I would always get the Vintners hot popcorn. Oh God, so delicious. But it would rip my insides out, dude. It was so bad. I remember that very. Like I would eat it and love it.
Night bus. Okay, here let's segue this, dude. Night bus shits afterwards.
Oh God!
dude.
Oh God!
Like-
Moving heaven and earth.
Yeah, bro. Dude, you had to have a prayer life because you just night bus because you ate like shit the whole day, so you were
Yeah,
just
yeah.
stopped
Yeah,
up.
and crap, yeah.
You were just plugged.
And then you threw a bunch of chili on top
Oh,
of it.
bro. Yeah, bro. Like on the way back,
Makes
like,
everything taste good.
that's when it
Burn
got
it up.
worse. Is when they would get back, like back to what you were talking about. Like these guys would preach, and it's like 12 o'clock at night. We would get back, and then they would be like, "Bus driver, do another lap," and we're just
Yeah.
like, "Fuck, bro! Like,
Come on, I'm fucking
you
tired.
were sucking 40 minutes ago.
Right.
Like, this
and
this
I
isn't getting
needed to
any
take
better.
a shit 40 minutes
Bro, that
ago.
was the worst. That was the worst.
Well, what would happen to me was I'd be on that bus with Billy, and then my stomach would start turning before we even finished drop-offs. So by the time I hit the dorms, I was like, get out of the way. Gangway.
Yeah, bro. That
Dude,
was
but then
remember
the best night bus day, right, where it was a little bit more lax,
ladies.
they would let the ladies
Yeah.
ride.
Yes, I
They would
remember
give
that.
them a little bit of freedom,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it was like a big
I
hoorah,
remember
so
that.
it was like mild.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
And it
was.
wasn't as intense
Yeah.
until you dropped them off.
And
The
then,
girl,
Yeah.
did the girls go separate? No, we preached with them on there.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I think we.
Yeah, because
but
they
it was
just-
still more
Because
mild.
then it would be like, you'd always have the one guy that get up and be like, oh, I see so-and-so's on the bus because his girlfriend's on the bus. Where were you last week? Where were you last week?
Exactly,
Like,
that's so
everyone's like,
true.
oh my god, bro, like, I was here last week. I preached.
You're literally.
Fuck.
But it was like a field trip for the ladies. They were
It
like,
was,
oh,
yeah.
Which was
we
sad.
can go.
Anytime you could call Night Bus a field trip, like,
Yeah, that's sad.
that
just
in
so
of itself
sad.
is just brutal. And what's crazy, like when you think about it, like all of this stuff was how long ago for us? 13,
Oh my God,
13
dude,
years?
yeah.
13 years?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like they're
longer for me probably. A
Yeah.
little bit, but-
Well, no, we graduated in 2008.
Yeah, so 2008. So it's
Oh yeah, I did
10
graduate in
years.
2008
It's
too.
been
so
I
10
left
years.
the year before.
So
my
10 years.
freshman
You
year.
And for
you
those
did-
of us,
you
and
did
for
the
those
right
of us
way.
that went the extra mile to get our master's degree,
Yeah, right.
2000.
Little bit
You
longer.
went for your master's?
2010. Yeah, got
John's
the old,
fucking legit.
got the old master's
Wait, so
degree.
you got a master's?
I got a master's from there. I taught there. I wrote curriculum for the school. Like
Wow,
that's what I'm
that's
saying.
awesome.
Like, but it's what's so crazy is that it's 10 years ago, and when you think about it, it had such. What people don't understand is like the impact that this had. Like like. I don't know if you guys can describe it, but like the next like 2 or 3 years, like outside of college, was just like, it was like a free fall. I was like, what the fuck is this?
What am I gonna do?
Yeah, like, cause that was like, cause when
There
I
was
finished,
zero. There was. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, because when I finished my master's, it is the exact same time. Like, I literally had finished my master's the semester before all that shit happened at First Baptist.
And if you have a mind of your own whatsoever, when you finally get out and you're like, okay, I can kind of chart my own course. I went to college for 4 years to learn how to do this. I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Man, dude, to me, it just had lost all the appeal.
Honestly,
Yes.
you have such the hoorah surrounded around it, right?
Yes,
Because you're like climbing up this
youth
ladder.
conference.
You don't care. You shit on everybody because that's what you do.
Yeah.
Fundamentalism, and it's funny and whatever. And then all of a sudden you're out and you're like, whoa. And well, for me,
Now
like
what?
I switched over to this other church, right?
Yeah. Fucking reprobate.
Yeah. And then I got married, and then I was going to school, and then.
Yeah.
But yeah, what for me, honestly, when I moved to Utah, that's when it finally all came out. Because I was doing all of the things at Hyles Anderson still. I just transitioned that over there. The pastor that I was at, he didn't like Hyles Anderson, but he liked the product. So he's like, oh, sign John up for everything.
Yeah, because he'll do
even
it.
though his family's falling apart, and even though he's like struggling with
care.
everything at life, we're just going to do it, right?
Yeah.
Jesus.
And
didn't like the product, but the same structure. They like the structure
Yeah,
because they can plug. You can take a Hyles Anderson graduate and really plug them in anywhere.
Exactly.
They just wanted like one of the universal soldiers where they could be like, oh, we need a bus driver.
Exactly.
Well, you couldn't really graduate unless you had a Class C or something close to that, and that's why they did that.
Somehow I managed to get out of that. I think I
got a C in that class.
I was slightly tied with Danny Club.
I left before I was 21, so I was good.
I think for some reason
Club did like you.
Yeah, my pastor at the
whatever
time. Well, my pastor at the time and him, James Beller and Danny Club went way back. James Beller, rest in peace. But they go way back.
Oh, okay.
And so that's why I had that. Danny drove me home one year for Thanksgiving. I think I watched R-rated movies in his car all the way home with his children. But yeah, so Night Bus is fucking crazy. That is one of the. I don't think there's that many. There are enough, but there's not that many like anomalies inside of something that's so crazy as Hyles Anderson. But that is definitely one of them. That's just like fucking
I don't know.
abstract.
I don't know. I think like you said, like a lot of. I don't know any other. Like, and if you went to a different college, like let us know.
Talk to me.
I don't know of any other place that did that type of night bus to that extreme because it was like we had to be. But I mean,
dude, if I would have went to the church that I was at and pulled that crap on the buses, dude, they would be like you're
even the colleges, I don't think do that.
I think if you look at where Hyles Anderson, First Baptist, Hammond is located, and the fact that they're near Chicago, and I'm not saying no other college is not near
so there's a
big city,
proximity where
I think
the culture allowed for it.
Yeah, it's the culture, and it's the fact that you're picking up incredible amounts of people for church
and tough kids from tough situations that their parents aren't involved. You can do whatever you want with them.
It plays to that hardcore mentality.
Yeah, and you're saving them from it. So tough times, tough people, right?
Yeah, exactly. So Night Bus was crazy.
But Night Bus was secret. Like there's not many ministries except for all of the pastors that went to Hyles Anderson. And I thought it was funny too because the people that told me before I went, they're like, dude, I know they're gonna push Night Bus.
Right.
But don't do it. Like, it's really not healthy for you. It's not good.
Yeah, it definitely was.
But I still did it because I wanted to be a man, right?
Man up.
And I had fun on Night Bus, I'm not gonna lie.
Fuck that. Fuck both you guys.
But
it's terrible.
I didn't really.
I did. Like, and I probably was.
I was a dick that was like ripping on people.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I was 13.
Yeah,
motherfucker over here.
So you guys reminded me of shower babies.
Yeah.
You guys reminded me of something that I have a story that I have to tell, a quick one. But I remember, I don't know if I had graduated or I was getting close, and my dad told me a story about when he was in college. My dad's a graduate of Hyles Anderson, and he told me a story because what you guys are saying about, it's hardcore, and I'm like, fuck that.
When did he graduate?
Oh, shit.
What year? Do you remember?
Question. Well, I was born in '85, so it was like '84 probably.
84, okay.
83 or 84.
Because we always talk about we were born at the same hospital. My dad graduated in '86, which is when I was born.
They would definitely. Yeah, that's true. Right?
So like we literally were born that we known each other since birth.
Literally born in the same fucking hospital.
Yeah.
In Hammond. But my dad told me a story about, it was Saturday night, and Sunday morning's coming, and he's been out all day on this bus ride. My dad was hard fucking core. I'm pretty sure my dad was division leader, Division 4. He was a division leader. I don't recall which division, but whatever one it was, I would get recruited by them on a monthly basis. Like, don't you remember your dad was our division leader? Like,
they all know. Like, dude, it's weird.
They know.
It's
it was
weird.
Annoying.
Tracking device.
Yeah.
Lineage, dude.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Thoroughbreds.
That's the thoroughbred I was talking about.
No. Stewie. I do not wish to be ridden in any way, shape, or form. Fuck. So
I gotta treat you like a thoroughbred.
No. What does Ray Young say? Ride them hard and put them up wet.
Ride them till they're wet, hang them up to dry.
Yeah,
or something like
some
that.
shit like that. No. Jack, I think if I remember right, Jack said that in a speaking engagement, and Ray lost it. Ray's just like he did. You guys remember his shoulder laugh? Yeah, his shoulders were just
It's like a
going.
mix between like Popeye and like Family Guy when he laughs. He's like.
It's fucked up. Anyways, my dad told me a story. It was Saturday night. He was in the dorms. He's trying to get some sleep, right? Because he's legit hardcore going to his bus route in the morning. It's like 10 o'clock at night. And some fuckers had found somewhere they had found on the side of the road a skunk that was dead and had been sitting outside all day.
No.
So it was ballooned up and they were kicking it around.
Stop it! Oh my god!
My dad just heard it going on and on. He ran out and like, you guys better stop that! Like, I gotta serve the Lord in the morning. Just like yelling at him. Like, I remember him telling me that, and then me telling my dad, you should know. I'm in college still. You should know. I'm the guy in the hall. Like, if you and me had been in college at the same time, we would not have got along whatsoever.
No, you wouldn't, because I remember you weren't as hardcore, which to me,
dude.
honestly, the most successful people, when I look at that college, the most successful ones were the ones who were actually less hardcore to their system. They had a mind of their own. They went out and did whatever, right?
Well, I think that... Go ahead.
For me, though, because I was your dad,
Right.
I had this kid in my room. I don't remember his last name. He was Jeremiah or something. He was...
Okay.
Anyway, nobody really knew him. I think he left the first year. He worked at overnight transportation.
Okay.
And so...
Sounds like a weirdo.
He started going in Sunday night, but he didn't ride night bus. So I'm like, dude, this kid, whatever.
It's a fuck up.
We're out there on night bus, and we're tired.
Yeah.
He comes in the morning
Oh, shit. From
and
working
turns
third
on the
shift?
radio and all that stuff.
Oh, my God.
And he's getting ready, and we're like, this is Monday morning. So they gave us a little bit of leniency,
yes,
right?
Mondays
To
you
sleep
got
in,
it.
but we still had to make it to chapel. That
Yep.
was like the goal,
By noon,
right?
I think, yeah.
So anyway, he comes in, he's all loud, going crazy. So I'm like, all right, I got this fool. Like, that's it. He's going to go to sleep. So we go to chapel. We come out, eat. He's sleeping. And this is where I was total ass. I led a whole bus program in that room. And I grabbed this broom handle. And I was like banging those dressers. You know, they had like metal sides. And I'm like, if you love Jesus, shout amen, right? And I'm like hitting it. And then all my roommates are going. I'm like, don't you ever come into the room like that ever again. Like,
ripping.
Oh,
Dude, they had. Gosh, dude.
sorry, Jeremiah. I don't know where you are, but dude.
Not Glosser, for sure.
No. He
Sailor Ministry hardcore.
Yeah.
Yep.
My dad was my dad when he was in
Hardcore.
Sailor Ministry.
Oh, okay,
Hardcore.
cool.
Yeah, him and Hooker and all those guys.
Yep.
I think him and Hooker went at the same time.
Well,
That was the ministry I actually wanted to join.
it was the cool one. You gotta
But when
play
I got
Xbox
there-
and eat good food.
They
Good
did have
food.
bomb
Yeah.
food, dude.
Yeah.
Play sports.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I didn't because once
Well, did
again,
you
I
have
wanted
to be?
hardcore.
Did you have to be someone to get? I feel like you had to be someone to
For
get
Sailor
into that.
Ministry?
There was
Yeah.
lots of popular kids, but I think it was
Yeah.
more so the sports. I don't think it was about being
Okay.
popular.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think it was about being popular.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because there wasn't really.
There were a lot of jocks in there, like
Yeah, that's what it was for sure.
Yeah.
One
Well,
thing-
you had to be because you had to you're dealing with guys
Yeah,
in the military.
yeah,
so,
you're
right?
like
and you're
playing
playing
legit
football with them.
sports
Yeah, you're playing
with
football
the
and
military
baseball
guys.
with them.
Yeah, you couldn't treat them like buskets, so you could be
Right.
Goldfish.
Some hot chips.
Fuck, dude. Like,
So
Like, I'll shoot your ass.
exactly. I like what you were saying about not about me specifically, but just in general about success after Bible college or even after getting out of the cult. So I want to do just a little intro on this, and then we're probably going to wrap up fairly soon. But I've recently had, not recently, but let's say within the last 6 months, and this is not an attempt to out anyone or make anyone feel a certain way. It's just I want to talk to you guys now for a little bit. I want to talk like we're having a fun conversation,
Oh, of
especially
course.
Night Bus. But I want to talk to our audience a little bit and tell you guys about. I've had a couple people come to me and say, hey, you know, either I'm thinking about getting out or I'm having trouble, I'm struggling with it, but it's something that it's a conversation I'm having with my spouse, or it's something that I'm very serious about. Like I want to get out of the IFB, out of the cult.
yeah.
So I wouldn't venture to say I'm very fully aware. Everyone is that if you watch the podcast with any of us before, I don't know when all these are going to air because I have another episode or two with John Banister. We're all very much out of the independent fundamental Baptist cult.
Oh,
It's safe to
completely.
say.
Yeah, fully.
And we're not balling, right? We're not driving, you know, crazy car. Well, right now you are. That
Yeah, I
rental's
was
pretty
like,
dope.
Stuart,
Did
I
you
saw
see
that.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one park.
You wanna take it for a
parking
ride?
spot?
Yeah, dude.
I saw that one.
But fucking like,
lucked out.
we're not here to say like we've achieved, you know, incredible success, but we are successful in the businesses that we've chosen to work in.
Yeah.
In the fields we've chosen to work in, we've been successful. And so I just want to talk about that a little bit because I know
Yeah.
there's a lot of fear because a lot of times either you're one of two things, and this is again my opinion, but I don't think it's wrong. You're either working in the church right now if you want out. Okay, this is for you that want out, or this is for you that want some more perspective on maybe a friend that's trying to get out, or a friend that has gotten out, or you don't even know anything about this cult and this is all crazy to you. I want to give some perspective. If that's you, if you're trying to get out, and your thought process is either I work for the church, and we cover this in another podcast, or I have my job because of someone in the church, because of someone in the cult.
Yeah.
Like I got in the cult, and I was working at Walmart, but then I got in the cult, and now I'm working for whatever better company
Right.
because someone in the church got me a job. That's a very plausible situation.
Right.
That's happened over and over and over and over again.
That's a main one.
It's a big one,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
And so those are the two things that I want to speak to. That's a lot. Look, there's a lot of fear about losing your job. I get it. I've been there. I've lost jobs, okay?
Yeah.
Companies have gone under, and I've had to find something new. But I will tell you this right now. There's opportunity and there's work for you out there to be had. And in the day and age, the digital age that we live in, there are a myriad of things that you can teach yourself. Now, John Banister's going to school and has gone to school and is getting, degrees and things like that. And that, I applaud that. I'm not trying to push that to the side.
Oh yeah,
Because that's also an option. But all I'm saying is, you don't have to.
the demographic I live in is what, and the type of job that I have is why I'm doing it too.
Exactly. And so the point that I'm trying to make is you can exit this cult and it is going to be a bumpy road. I'm not here to say like, dude, you can get out and it's going to be cake. No. It's going to suck shit for a while. And you're going to go through some bumpy spots, but finding work and that's everything. If you're getting out and you have a family, that's generally the reason you're getting out is for your family. And so obviously you have them in mind, and that's something that you're very passionate about, and you love your family, and it's very important to you. Religion and Jesus and everything else aside, you want to make sure you take care of your family. I get that. And I need you to know, whoever you are, wherever you are, there is opportunity, there's work to be had. I'm not saying the job market is on the rise. I don't know any of that shit. But you can teach yourself things to do, and you can have viable employment outside of working for the church itself or working for someone in the church. It's very doable. You're looking at 3 guys. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you have any kind of a degree right now outside of House Anderson?
Dude, I got my somehow 4-year degree.
Okay, right.
Of 1 year, I don't
But
even...
an IFB degree, you're looking at 3 guys that have IFB degrees that are in the workplace from Walmart to Macintosh to Apple. They're useless. Okay? It's life experience and whatnot. I get that. But, as a degree from an accredited university, yours is unaccredited as well, Harvest, correct?
Totally.
So, they're useless. But guess what? We still have jobs, and we take care of our families.
Yeah.
And it's not like a somehow, some way I managed. No, it's there. It's there for you. And I'm not trying to go on a, this has been a lot of IFB and House Anderson bashing and again. So I'm not trying to go on a motivational kick. I'm just trying to speak to kind of the end result. We talked you through the dorms and night buzz and ministry and all that crazy shit at House Anderson and First Baptist. But I want to come to the end of it all, which is where we're at now.
Yeah.
And where we're at now is we're not involved with the cult, but we are doing well enough to take care of our families.
Yeah.
And it can be done, and you can do it. And this isn't a night bus rant. I'm not trying to dig at you. I'm
Dude,
just trying
Stuart,
to...
it's okay if it's a night bus rant.
It's
I know
not
you hated
fucking
night
okay.
bus and you
Fuck
have
night bus.
PTSD because of night bus.
I definitely do.
Just let it go.
But I guess
Let
all
it go.
I'm trying to get at... Don't sing. I'm the singer. Remember? Anchormen.
Yeah.
So, the point I'm trying to get at is there's life after all that shit.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
And you're not tied to it as much as you think you are.
Yeah, that's a great point. Because if you look at it, where we are now, we all got relatively to the same place, but different paths.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I went to school for 6 years. Never did I actually hold a position in a church.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You had gone off and you were a youth pastor.
4 years I was youth pastor for 2 years.
So it was just one of those things where it was just we all went through different. It's not like there's one road to get out. I feel like everybody finds their own path.
Fuck yeah.
And so how I got out, or how John got out, or how you got out.
Yep.
There's not a single road.
There's no blueprint.
Exactly. It's not. You just know, and you just my thing is dude, everything will fall into place Like when that
Oh,
shit
for
starts,
sure.
when that shit starts happening, like you'll just kind of see it, and it's not even like I try to get out. It was just more of like a segue. It was kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm out.
Yeah.
Which was for me, it was like super easy. But I know a lot of people have a different
It's
experience.
very difficult.
My family, like, I mean, I go back. It's not a big deal that I'm not like IFB or.
Yep.
I go back, whatever. My parents go to a church that I won't go back to.
Yep.
But you know what I mean. But there doesn't have to be animosity, and there's
No,
not. And I
exactly.
got lucky. I'm one of the lucky ones. I know there's some people they get shunned. They don't get talked
ostracized,
to.
yep.
Family, like, no, don't talk to them because they're that dug in.
Yep.
But like I said, like everybody has a different road, but we all ended up in the same. I mean, we just all ended up in the same area, right?
Right.
It's not,
Yeah.
and it's nothing crazy. It's not like there's a magic like formula like what we were taught in college, right? If you want to build a church, here's the way to do it. There's only one way to do it, right?
Yeah.
But there's not, and I
No,
think
and
that's
the
where
thing
people
is,
get wrapped up
it's
in.
great because it's like we're all individuals. Like the reason why we're good at what we do is because we finally owned our individuality, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And so it's like that is one thing that I will say is I feel bad because I know so many people, but even in the outside world, people that have jobs that they hate on a day-to-day basis, they don't pull out of that either because of all
Yeah.
this fear of can I do it? Can I exceed? Can I do those
Yep.
things, right? But
It's
in
a similar
our culture,
condition.
it's weird because God told you were going to do this for the rest
Right,
of your life,
right.
right? And you invested all that time into it, and to me, it's like be you, own you.
Yep.
And it will be a natural thing. Like that's
Yeah.
so perfect because it was so natural for me to switch out of it. I'm the operations manager of an engineering firm.
How about that?
Like you heard my
Yeah.
school experience, but you can do whatever you want to do.
It's
like
the truth. It's still
read,
the truth.
you learn.
Yep.
The one thing I'll take out of Hyles Anderson is if you just take the character that they try to create in us,
Right, which is impossible.
and you put that energy into what you
Yep.
want, you can do
well,
whatever
who
the hell
said
you wanna
Universal
do.
Soldier? Was it you?
Yeah.
Like that's really like, look, I've been shitting on Hyles Anderson, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. The IFB is going to get shit on the rest of my life, or at least for a while.
Yeah.
But this isn't to say anything good about it, but the fact is, me and you have traveled some tech circles where people keep coming back to us for work over and over and over again. Why? Because they know other people are going to bitch out. Other people are going to say, you know what, the work's too hard or too monotonous. We're in it to work our asses off.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that has to do with not just Hyles Anderson or IFB, but our upbringing and our parents and how they raised
Yeah.
us. It's not just
Definitely.
like Jack Scup or Hyles Anderson.
No, they
it's
don't
like
get credit for
my
that.
whole life has been
reason-
leading up to.
There was a reason we made it through college. It's how
yeah,
we were
exactly,
brought up.
exactly. Very good point. Very
You know
good
what I mean?
point.
Like,
So,
like it propelled us a little bit, but like.
but I feel like a lot of people that are watching
Yeah,
and paying
to
attention to
clarify
what I'm
that.
talking about here, you're in the same boat that we are as far as your
Totally.
upbringing, and you've got roots that are hardworking and diligent and consistent and very, very ethical. In fact, to the point where your ethics have gotten you in trouble because you've been honest when maybe you could have told it a little bit different,
Yeah,
and you could have made a little more money or however. Not saying gotten you in trouble. That's the wrong way to say it, but
it wasn't as beneficial. Yeah.
yeah,
It
could have
wasn't
been
as
less beneficial. It was less beneficial because you were more ethical.
Right.
People are looking for that shit. That shit is rare as fuck. And I don't mean people like your fucking supervisor at Walmart. I mean CEOs of companies
legit
and
stuff.
COOs
Yeah.
and fucking
Because they
people
don't
that
know who
run
to trust.
multi-billion-dollar companies.
For sure.
They're looking for someone that has ethics, that will fucking show up and will just work. And
Yeah.
that's what we do.
One of these times I'm gonna bring it. I don't know if you guys remember this during before graduation. It was probably like 3 weeks before. They had the senior banquet
Right.
where they would go.
I don't remember that.
It was a huge ordeal. Like
Oh,
you took your
I
day.
never made it to that.
And
But yeah.
you guys-
Was it a banquet or was it senior day?
No, it's senior banquet. This would have been in our
It was.
fourth. This would have been in
But
our
I
fourth
wasn't
year.
there for
It's
it.
where they handed out the awards. Like, hey, this guy got
Am I
this,
that drunk?
Is
I
that
don't
where you
this
got
shit at
who's
all.
who?
this and this. No, I did get who's who.
That
but
was in the mail.
I always
I always wanted to know where that came from.
Yeah, no, it is.
We're bringing it full circle to who's who
It's
right
in
now.
the it's in the yearbook. Like if you go through like who's who,
Fuck
like
yeah.
they did it. But yeah, I have it like a letter like from
Yeah.
whatever administration does that for America.
Whomever.
Yeah,
Whomst ever.
But I always did make a joke because it was one of those things where we had to fill out cards, and the staff had to fill out cards for different awards,
oh god.
and they would get awards, and I always make a plug.
Was it
not,
stupid awards or was it like
well,
legit awards?
No. These were like
Okay.
hey, like this award, that award. There was only like 6 or 7 of us that were the deal.
I remember senior banquet. This is bugging me the fuck out.
I don't know how you know. I only remember because I won something, and the one award that I got was the integrity award,
Nice.
So like out of everything, that was like the one thing I guess I valued it more than my diploma. I valued it more than anything because that was an award that was given by your peers and by your teachers.
Yeah.
So like that's why I was making
like
a joke.
that,
It
dude.
doesn't mean anything. There's a lot of guys that had way more integrity than me. I happen to be the guy that got picked for it.
Right. That's cool,
But
though, dude.
but
No,
that
that
was
is good.
but that was the thing because John, you had mentioned it that it's not just IFB or Hiles where people are in a situation that they know is bad because of fear.
Right.
Like it could be career, it could be marriage, it could be whatever it is. And
Yeah.
any
There's a
type of
myriad of
any other
environments.
type of religion
Yeah.
has very similar all religions are very similar. Like
Yes.
there's universal threads. There's like a common core, like 5 things that make up a religion.
Yep.
And they all can have that cultish feeling, whether or not you want to call it. Now, what we came from was 100% a cult.
A cult.
It meant almost. It meant like.
I second
Oh,
that vote
no.
or whatever you do.
Yeah,
when you vote in
yeah.
church.
I thought I was going to get a high five right now. He let me down again.
Doubles.
Oh.
Nice.
All right.
I've been mean to you today.
Yes.
Anchormen. But
I love you.
but it's just one of those things because like you said, like we on the podcast we talk a lot about Hiles and IFB
Yeah.
because that's our culture, that's where we come from.
where
But
we
there's a
come
lot
from.
of people that whether they're in their job, like you, John, you said it perfectly. It's like they're in their job, they hate it, but they have to have it. There's that fear of loss.
Yeah.
And I think the fear of loss, especially depending on where you are in your life. When you're young, you're in your 20s, like you can fuck up, you're good to go.
It's okay,
But
yeah.
you're married, you got kids, you got responsibilities.
tough, man.
And me and you had talked about this
We
before
have, I
because
remember this.
Gary V always pushes
Yeah.
like, what are you doing what are you doing like 6 to 12? It's like, bro, I'm trying to have a family.
Right. I got to get my kid to bed.
I gotta
feed
have a
him.
relationship
Like,
with my son. I gotta and I know there's always time. Like I don't want to make the
Right.
excuse that there's not time, but I
Yeah.
feel like because of how we were brought up in college, it's just like that time goes away. Like my kid's 5.
It passes
Yep.
so
You know what I mean? And I don't know how
Yeah,
old
I
your
got a
kids are.
9-year-old.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's crazy,
I
bro.
started early. That's how I got married.
Yeah.
That was my ticket.
That's the good.
To the will
I've
of God,
got a
right?
golden ticket.
I had the get out of jail free card
That
for the
is-
will of God.
that definitely
Like,
is.
I was off that one.
Dude, that's so well put. That's getting a girl pregnant is the get out of jail free
Jen,
card
I'm sorry
for the will
about
of
that.
God.
I know it ruined our lives a little bit, but that was the get out of jail free
Well, I
card.
wanted to end the podcast right here, but I can't end it on that. Sorry, ruined our lives.
No,
It didn't ruin our lives.
No, I'm just kidding. But like,
We'll get to that story on
We will.
another version.
we will absolutely. But I think that I like what you said. Like just closing it all in and coming. I'm not trying to shit on any other podcast I've ever filmed, but I like the full circleness of this podcast of the fact that we went to the craziness and the stupidness that's night bus and living in the dorms and you have a small sausage all the way through to, hey, if you want to get out or like you know wherever
Yeah.
you're at in your life, if you're like afraid of it, it's okay to be afraid. Like that's
sure.
that's a
Yeah.
human, that's a very very common human trait. But guess what? You can get out and you can do it. And I feel like this is my opinion, but I feel like a lot of people, there's a lot of different fears. You're going to be alienated from your family. You're going to lose your salvation, right? You're not going to be right with God. Like there's a lot of things to be afraid of, but something that I feel like a lot of times isn't talked about whether in therapy or support groups is employment, because that
Yeah.
really is a big
Yeah.
thing. When you decide to step out and say, I'm going to do my own thing, no disrespect to you guys, but this shit is bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, a little disrespect, right? But like, I'm leaving now, and then they say, okay, well, you don't have a job anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, and guess what? Your degree isn't going to do shit for you. Oh, and you have never been a manager of anything. You're fucked.
There's no
Yeah.
safety net.
Yeah.
And see,
You're-
when I hear that too, though, so like, because of course I come from a different upbringing. Like
Yes,
my dad was
yes.
a business owner.
A lot more traditional.
Like, he showed me all the opportunities. I was working for a
Yeah.
very young age. I didn't have this. Actually, when I went to Bible college, my parents were kind of like, well, I mean, if you're gonna go do the Lord's work, do the Lord's work. But my dad's version was always, dude, if you're not doing ministry, then you go make as much money as you possibly
Exactly.
can.
Yeah, I've heard
of
that
course,
before. Yeah.
of course, to finance the ministry or help
Of course,
people,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it was always about hard work and good work. But the thing is that I had with my parents was, my dad was like, you can do anything you want to do.
Mhm.
And the thing is, I watched my dad do that, right? And so coming out of it for me is, dude, it's hard. It's out of your comfort zone.
Right.
But I mean, you even think of college. Like, college took us out of our comfort
Way
zone.
out
If
of
you
your
remember
comfort
those
zone.
days, like
Yeah.
ripping off the Band-Aid and going and doing all that desensitizing
Yeah.
stuff. Like, dude, you can kill it. Now, to get to the next point is, I am an operations manager at an engineering firm.
Yeah.
I hire people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a hard market right now to get good people.
Yeah.
Like in Utah, there are more jobs available than good people
Damn.
available.
That's
Move
great.
to
And they're
Utah.
running. Yeah, Utah has its deals, but economically they're doing
Solid.
fabulous.
Yeah.
And the thing is I've never struggled for work anywhere I've ever been.
Yep.
And even on a down economy or a good one, but the thing is, it came down to work ethic.
Yeah.
Like, if you show up, if you have good character,
Yep.
and if you own it, the integrity
They
is
want- they
huge.
want you.
I would hire you tomorrow, even if
Yeah.
you didn't have a degree.
Where were you brought? Where were you brought up? Where did you?
Joliet, Illinois.
So you're
is
from the
where
Midwest.
I was born. Yeah, Midwest.
And
Yeah.
then Wisconsin.
And
right?
then moved
take-
to Wisconsin, Iowa.
Like you take mid. I think that's what you take the
fucking true.
the work ethic from people from the Midwest.
Yeah.
You come out to
Yeah.
the West Coast.
Yeah.
Bro, it's like night and day.
Yeah. They're like,
It's not-
what did they make you in a vat?
Where did you come? Like where did you come from? And
no,
it's
it's
just,
so true.
it's
Yeah.
because we have the work mentality. Like it's not to shit if people from the East Coast, not hard workers, or from the
Right.
South, but
No.
Midwest, it was just like that's your farmlands.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly. No,
like
it totally is
it
true.
was just
Sweat of
raised.
the
You were
brow.
just
Because for
raised to
Utah,
work.
the joke is like if I hire somebody outside of the state,
Right.
like from that direction,
Yep.
I'm good.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
100%. I hired for the painting company that I work with. They do like what the best worker that we hired was from Ohio. Fuck Ohio State and fuck the Buckeyes. But
I mean, the only reason why I got hired was because my boss thought I was a Mormon. Of course, it's because I was a fundamental
Bear striking
Baptist,
resemblance,
right?
yeah.
So I had the same.
Yeah.
It was
you're
like
sheep in
identical.
wolf clothing.
And dude, like literally, when I met my boss, and nothing against him, just the culture they live in
A
there.
wolf in sheep's clothing. You said it backwards.
Either way, who cares?
No, I had to. I've
13
been
years.
thinking about this. Like, hang on. He's,
Wait,
Is
he's
it
a wolf
sheep
'cause
in
he's
wolf-
not- he's not-
Wait, are you saying that's sheep in wolf's clothing?
Yeah. I said
No.
it works both ways.
Yeah.
You're not. Wait, how does that not work?
fuck both of you. Shut up.
How does that not work? A wolf. and
Oh
sheep-
no,
a sheep-
A wolf in sheep's clothing is the manipulation. But I feel like Owens preached a message.
I think
about
mine's
the
a better
sheep
twist.
perspective.
It's like,
I-
oh
I-
shit,
I
you're not a
probably-
sheep.
It's a great.
Well, okay,
twist.
what's the real
No,
analogy?
it's a sheep.
Because we're
No,
all
it's
sheep,
a wolf.
right?
It's a wolf in sheep's clothing.
what I said.
No, you said a sheep in wolf's clothing. I swear to God, we'll play it back in like 5
I
minutes.
said a wolf in sheep's clothing.
I don't know, but we gotta play it back because
No.
I wasn't being
No,
anal
no.
retentive.
You said a
You're-
sheep in wolf's clothing.
Which is the proper term.
No, it's not.
No, because then you're a wolf. All the sheep
You
are
know
gonna
what?
run.
They're gonna
Yeah,
run.
but you're not. How does it not work? Either way, you're somebody who you weren't dressing differently.
Great recovery.
I don't see how that backfired.
I get what you're saying, but in fundamentalism, biblically, you just blasphemed us all. Because you're trying to appeal to the sheep, dude. You want to attract the sheep. You want to put
look
on
like
the
the
sheep
sheep.
suit.
No.
But I'm trying to reach the world. Someone to dress like a wolf, but I'm gonna be a sheep. I'm like, oh shit, bro! I thought you were this.
That's for
But you're
the
actually-
pussyfooting Baptist.
Oh, that's what that is.
That's
Oh my
The
God.
PFPs. That's what that was.
All right.
Either way,
But anyway,
all
it
that,
does.
all that to
Whatever
say
the
this.
fuck.
Yeah, no. If you apply yourself, you can accomplish anything you want.
It's true.
Totally.
Sorry, John. That didn't go how I anticipated.
I went
All right.
phenomenally. I will stand by that statement.
All right. I'll let
Just
you.
own it. See, you made it work, man.
You
You're
got
not
to.
gonna-
John sticks with it. I love it.
Yeah, you got to.
So, once again, I've said this so many times before. Thank you guys for watching. You stuck with us for somewhere around 2 hours. That's a long time. Oh, and I didn't say this, and clearly there's 3 of us, but like this is the first time I've ever had 3 people on the podcast.
Oh,
Definitely
first
want to,
threesome.
yeah.
That's my first threesome too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
also my first threesome. Yeah, so
A lot less uneventful than I thought.
I was trying to just like go
It's
right.
overrated.
I wanted to go right through that and not have them say those things, but they said them. So. You know what? I don't think the audio's even gonna pick it up,
What-
and that's
what
gonna
is
make it even funnier.
What did you say before? Where 2 or 3 are gathered?
No, they're in the midst of us. There he is.
So even
Preach
game
so,
things we
in
talked about back in the day. Where 2 or 3 are gathered, I'm in the midst. Like really? Like, that seems a bit.
That's what Jesus
That seems
said.
crowded. That seems
It's
crowded.
crowded. There's like a lot of people for that
We
room.
would just stand back and watch.
So,
Oh, how we grandly preach perfection.
yeah, there you go. So, this is the first time we've had 3 people on. This was fucking awesome. I
Yeah.
had a great time.
was-
Just let me say.
I
Can't stop laughing.
My chair squeaks every time I laugh, dude.
I set it up that way.
Yeah.
So, John got the squeaky chair. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this episode of Not Your Mother's Podcast. We had pizza. We got pretty lit. This was fucking awesome. As always, as I said before, like if you have some feedback, hey, if you're part of the group of people that's like, I'm not sure if I can get out. How do I do it? What do I do? You can hit up these guys if you want. Hit up me if you want. Hit us up on YouTube. Hit us up on Facebook. On our profiles. We want to hear from you. We want to know how you're doing. We want to know what stage you're at in this process. And if this is the first time you've ever seen anything this crazy or dumb about cults, there's more to come. There's more where this came from. So thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, my great friend John Warden, great friend John Banister. As drunk as I am, somehow I got those names right. So happy. Thank you guys both.
Yeah,
thank you so much for coming
Thanks,
on.
Stu.
This was terrific. Thank you all for watching, and we hope you enjoyed this episode of Not Your Mother's Podcast. So much like you're probably thinking right now, good podcast, good outro, great exit. They can cut it off here. I was going to do that, and John Warden had other plans. Oh my God, why?
But I waited like 6 seconds.
He did.
There was 6
He was
seconds. You got a solid cutout. You got a solid
You might even
cutout.
talk
And
to
this-
people about
and
the
this-
ending.
I'm not going to.
Dude,
John knows already.
No, last time I was like,
What's going to be great is this is going to be the ending. I'm leaving all this
Oh,
in. This
shit.
is fucking awesome.
And I'm going to take this moment and take my leave.
oh, dude.
That's how we need to end it. Everybody just get up and walk.
Yes.
And just kind of
Yes,
cuss
dude.
under our breath as we walk off.